Hi there, and welcome to a brand new project video where you'll build and deploy a fully responsive website with modern UI and UX in ReactJS. This restaurant landing page tutorial is the best modern UI UX tutorial that you can currently find on YouTube. There are many tutorials out there teaching you how to build a website. A website consisted of a navigation bar, a few divs, and a footer. Boring, right? Today, you'll learn how to take a Figma design and turn it into a beautiful website, all the way from design over development to deployment. This video is perfect for you if you want to learn how to transform a Figma design into a fully functioning website, if you want to improve your CSS skills, and if you want to learn how to create modern and responsive websites. You might be wondering, what are the prerequisites for building such an amazing website? Don't worry, this course is completely beginner friendly. We're going to start easy and then move to more complex topics. Every step of the way will be explained. Alongside building the website, you'll learn React functional components and their reusability, React file and folder structure, fundamental CSS properties to master flex and grid, fundamentals of the CSS BEM model, from soft and pleasant animations to complex gradients, perfectly placed media queries for satisfactory responsiveness covering almost all devices. And at the end, you'll learn how to deploy your websites to extremely fast servers and give them a custom domain name. The only thing I'm asking in return for this great tutorial project is for you to support this video by leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing. You don't have to do it right now, feel free to watch the video through and see how you like it. If this video reaches 15,000 likes, I'm recording a third video in the Build Modern UI UX Websites with ReactJS series. Also, make sure to stick till the end of the video where I'll challenge you to add your own code to this project to make it even better. Before we dive into the project, I have an important announcement for you. For quite some time now, I have been working on something big. I'm creating a custom platform where you'll be able to learn by creating even better and more professional projects. It'll take a long time to turn this into a reality, but I want you to make the most important decisions during the process. So, click the mailing list link down in the description so that you can stay up to date and choose which projects to build first. Big news coming soon. Right now, you're watching this video, so I'm sure you're excited to see what exactly are you going to build today. You're going to build a fine dining restaurant landing page. Right off the bat, we have this great starting section with the navigation bar that collapses on mobile devices. As we scroll down, you'll notice that the background changes and we have this completely custom About Us section with a G, or the first letter of the restaurant, right in the middle behind the knife. As we scroll even more down, you'll notice that today's special, the menu for wine and beer, as well as the cocktails. Right below that, we have the chef's word, a special section to see what the primary chef says. Right below that, we have a really special section, which is a full screen video, where you can instantly see how does the restaurant or food look like. Keep in mind, this website doesn't have to be just about cooking. You can convert it into any other high-end business. Let's scroll a bit more down where we have the awards that the restaurant received, alongside with this great image with another letter G. If we go even more down, you'll see this great photo gallery where we have images from the restaurant's Instagram page, and you can hover over the images, click them, and see them right on this business's social media platforms. We are closely getting to the end. As you can see, we have quite a lot of sections. The next one is the one that every business has to have, and that is the Find Us section. Finally, as we scroll down, you'll see a custom footer where we have the subscribe to our newsletter section, as well as the contact us, the logo one more time, the quote, and the working hours. This is looking great, and as I've mentioned, there are quite a lot of sections. you're going to build all of this today in this one video. Also, did I forgot to mention, it is completely mobile responsive. It's gonna work for tablet devices as well as the mobile devices, and it's going to look great on all of them. It almost has that native mobile feel. I hope that this project showcase got you fired up and ready to start building this project. With that said, let's dive straight into the video. Before we start building out our project, let's first get the hosting and the domain name for our new site, your portfolio, or any site you'll create in the future. Hostinger is my personal recommendation, and right now they're offering crazy deals, so I simply needed to show this to you. If we scroll down a bit, you'll notice that there are 3 plans. They offer great price to quality ratio, high-speed servers, and most importantly, 24/7 chat support. Let's see what's offered with some of the most popular hosting plans, and let's grab those deals. Hostinger's plans are incredibly cheap. I mean, $1 a month for hosting for one website, and you also get a free SSL certificate. That means that you'll have HTTPS security. In this case, we're going to go with the premium shared hosting because it offers a few great things you need when building out websites such as portfolios, blogs, websites for clients, for restaurants, coffee shops, or anything like that. This hosting plan is going to give you up to 100 domain-based email addresses. You're also going to get a free SSL certificate, but most importantly, you're going to get a free domain name. As I've mentioned initially, we need our restaurant landing page to be fast and reliable. For that reason, having a custom domain name, custom email address, SSL certificate, and fast website load times will make your page stand out from the crowd. Since I've partnered with Hostinger, they decided to give you guys an even bigger discount. You can find the link and the discount code in the description. Enjoy! I'm sure you're gonna find it useful. Once you've clicked the link in the description, let's go ahead and choose a plan. As I've said, for many reasons, I'm gonna choose premium shared hosting. Once you've selected your plan, in here, we have to choose the period of our hosting. With the crazy discount going on right now, I'll definitely choose 48 months to save the most money. And down below, you can create your account and select your payment method. The JavaScript Mastery coupon code should already be applied if you click the link. But if it hasn't been applied, simply type JavaScript Mastery, all uppercase. That's going to give you an even bigger discount on your hosting package. After you're done with the purchase, you'll be redirected to Hostinger's dashboard. I'll see you there. As you can see, I'm personally using Hostinger for my brand for all of my websites. If you purchase the premium shared hosting, you should now have this claim domain button right here. On the other hand, if you got single shared hosting, you can go to domains and then find the domain right here. In my case, I'll click the claim domain button right here. Our demo's restaurant's name is Gericht. And it's highly possible I'm mispronouncing that since it's a German word, but we'll just keep calling it Gericht from now on. So let's try something like Gericht-Restaurant. There we go, check availability, and Gericht-restaurant.com is completely available. Let's go ahead and claim this domain. Of course, if you still haven't purchased the domain, or if you're not sure what to call your site, you can simply save the domain for later, or you can do this setup at the end of the video where we're going to actually deploy the site. So it's not crucial that you haven't chosen your domain just yet. And in a few seconds, our domain name has been registered. Now we can go to Home. And right here, you'll notice that we are yet to set up our premium shared hosting. So let's click this setup button right here. This is going to be a guided setup, so let's click Start Now. With Hostinger, you can instantly build WordPress or WooCommerce websites, but in this case, we're gonna press Skip. I'll start from scratch. In here, you can choose a domain name, so let's go ahead and choose the one we just purchased. Of course, you can do this at the end of the video if you prefer to. So let's click select. And that's it. We've just finished our setup. While our hosting is being set up, I just wanted to quickly let you know that there's a GitHub repository containing the entire code for this project. So if you ever get stuck, just make sure to visit this GitHub page. The link is going to be down in the description, and compare your code with the code that's on here. While you're here, I'd also appreciate it if you gave this repository a star. And that's it. Our site has been set up. Let's go to the control panel by clicking the Manage Site button. As I've already mentioned, at the end of this video, we're going to simply deploy our website using the file manager. With that said, let's dive straight into the code. As we always do on JavaScript Mastery, we're going to start from bare beginnings so that everybody can 100% follow along. We can start off by creating a new empty folder on our desktop. Let's name it something like Gericht and then restaurant. Once you have your empty folder, you can open up an empty Visual Studio Code window. Feel free to use any code editor of choice. So in this case, I'm going to simply drag and drop the empty folder into Visual Studio Code. And there we are. We can start by going to View and then Terminal. We can clear the terminal, and now we need to initialize a new React application. We can do that by typing npx create-react-app and then /, since we're already in the directory we want to initialize our React application in. Of course, to be able to run this command, you have to download and install Node. If you haven't done that already, simply Google Node download and install it. And if we are ready, you can simply press enter. If you haven't used Create React App before, you can simply press Y to proceed. Our React application is being initialized as we speak. This process usually takes about a minute, so I'm gonna pause this video right now and I'll see you right away. If you can see all of these files and folders right here, that means that your React app has been successfully initialized. The most important folder in our application is the source folder. This is where all of our files are. Right now, there's a lot of files that we might not need, like app.test.js, logos, web vitals, and so on. So what I usually like to do is to simply right-click source and delete it entirely. And then we can create a new version where we only have the files we actually need. So once you recreate the source, you can right-click it and click New File to create the most important part in every React application, and that is index.js. This is the file where we connect our React application to the DOM. So we need to import React from React, as well as import React DOM from React-DOM. We can also import the component we haven't yet created, and that's going to be import app from /app. Once that is done, we can call React DOM.render. We can pass in the application, and finally, we can say render it under document.getElementById, and the ID is going to be root. The reason why I'm going through this so quickly is because this is something you're going to write every time you create a React application. But let me go a bit deeper and explain what does this document.getElementById root actually mean. So if we go to public and then index.html, you can notice that this is an HTML page of sorts. Let's collapse all of these lines into one line. Let's remove some of these comments just to make it a bit easier to read, like this. There are some more comments, some no script tags, but if you remove all of that, you can notice that this is the simplest possible HTML document that simply has the head and the body that only has one div. We have to connect our React application to this div, and this is where all of our React code is going to go, right here inside of this div with an ID of root. While we're here, we can also change the name of our site. So in this case, that's going to be Gericht, and that's going to be restaurant. So now we can go back to index.js and we can create that app.js file inside of our source folder, app.js. Throughout this video, you'll see me use RAFCE quite a lot. That is a shortcut to create a React arrow function component. If you haven't used this before, it is incredibly useful. The only thing you have to do to be able to do that is go to Extensions and then search for ES7 React Redux GraphQL React Native Snippets. Then you have to install it, potentially reload your Visual Studio Code, and then you'll be able to start typing RAFCE to create a React functional component. If for whatever reason that doesn't work for you, you can simply type this out by hand. Right now, I'm going to simply create an H1 here that's going to say, hello world. There we go. Now, before we run our application, we're going to first install all of the necessary dependencies. If we go to package.json, you'll notice that we have our main React dependencies, but we can go to View and then Terminal to install just a few more. Or to be more exact, we can install more dependencies by running npm install, and the only dependency we're going to install are going to be React icons. That means that everything else that you saw in the introduction of this video is going to be coded by us. We won't use any extra external packages. You're going to learn how to do everything by yourself. So let's simply install React icons, the only dependency we're going to need, and then we can start working on our project. That install incredibly quickly, and we can try running our application by running npm start. And in just a few seconds, you should be able to see a heading that says hello world on localhost 3000. Great. Now, to save you some time for creating all of the files and folders for our components, I'm going to give you access to the starter code of this project. But don't worry, that starter code is going to contain absolutely no programming logic. It's mainly going to be just files and folders. I'm going to explain everything step by step. I've included the starter source folder in the project Modern UI UX Restaurant GitHub repository. And I even made it easier for you to download it. All that you need to do is go to this link. The link is going to be down in the description, down Git. And as soon as you come here, the download is going to immediately start. It's going to take a few seconds and then you should see your folder right here. You can click it and then you can extract it to our Garrick restaurant project. And just press OK. There we go. That has been finished. And now if we go back here, you should be able to see a starter source folder. What you can do right now is delete the original source folder and just rename the starter source to simply source or src. That process is going to take some time. We can go to View, Terminal, stop it from running by pressing Ctrl+C and then Y, and then npm start one more time. This is going to restart our React application. And as soon as you do that, you should be able to see an empty homepage where you have all of these components. As you can see, we're going to have a Navbar component, or let's call them sections. Navbar section, header, about us, menu, chef, and so much more. And as you can see, I didn't lie to you. We didn't implement any of the logic. We just sorted out all of our sections in one easy to read list. And if we go back to code, you can notice that now we have assets. These are mainly just all of the images and videos that we're going to use for our project. Then we're going to have some constants. Inside of here, we're going to have some demo data for our menu. Again, no coding logic whatsoever here. Then in here, we're importing all of our images and exporting them so that we can more easily use them later on. And from here, we're exporting both the meals, the data, and the images. So we've covered the assets and constants. Then we have the components. And as you can see, the structure we're going to be working in is the folder components. Inside of there, we have a new folder for each one of these components, like a menu item. And then inside of that folder, we have the component of the same name, menu item, which is right now completely empty. So it's just a basic functional component that's going to have the menu item inside of it, and it also has an import to the CSS file, which is also going to be completely empty. And that's the situation for every single component and container in our list. You can see the situation with containers is the same. You might be wondering, what is a container? And you can think of a container just like a section. So About Us is a specific section of the page. Same thing about Chef, Find Us, Footer, and so on. Now that we have those demo components, we can go into app.js, and you can see in here, we're simply importing all of the components and containers, and we're simply listing them one below another. That means that we can now easily, from top to bottom, start implementing the navbar. Then, when we're done, we can go to header and keep it going for all of the other components. Finally, the only bit of CSS that is here is going to be the index CSS. And this is going to be only the CSS setup. Inside of this file, we're just gonna set up the Google fonts, some of the most commonly used colors. We're gonna reset the padding and margin for all elements to be 0. And in here, we just have some slight animations. And that's nothing that's going to be a breaking change in our application, just some quality of life changes. Alongside the index CSS, there's also the app.css styles, where we have just some general section styles. So these are the styles that are going to be used across all sections, like section padding, the class to centrally position an element, backgrounds, and so on. So make sure that you also have the styles for this file. And with that said, we can go into our app.js. Let's get started with the navigation bar. But how is it going to look like? Well, we're going to code this entire website, including navigation bar, by following this specific design. This is a phenomenal free design that I found on ui8.net. The link is going to be down in the description. You can click download here and then create an account to fully download it. But to make this process even easier for you, I've created and shared an entire Figma design that includes only the page that we'll be building today. If you want to download the entire site, including many more sections, then you'll have to download it through UI8. But if you just want to follow along with the video and create the sections that you saw in the intro, which are these sections right here, then you can just click the link down in the description and just get to this Figma file that I've shared. That's going to be more than enough to create this phenomenal site. Okay, with that said, you should have access to this Figma design, and you are most likely looking at this page right now. And here is our navigation bar. So let's try and put this design and our browser side by side with the editor so that we can see live what we're coding. There we go. I've put my code editor on the left side and the live side on the right side. In here, I've also included the finished Gerrit project so that you can see how it looks like. In here, you can see that we have this great navigation bar that on smaller devices turns into a hamburger menu that pops up nicely, like this. But on a bit bigger devices, like this, you can see it is a full navigation bar. So this is the section of the page that we're going to implement right now. And as you can see, the situation is the same on Figma. So let's go to our live site and let's implement the first component on our list, and that is the navbar. To start implementing the navbar, we can first import a few icons. The first one on our list is going to be GI hamburger menu, and that's going to be coming from react-icons/GI. The second icon on our list is going to be import md outline restaurant menu, and that's coming from react-icons/md. With those icons, we're going to also import images, so we can say import images from //constants and then images. And just below that, we already have the import for the navbar.css. Now we are ready to start creating the JSX part. For our navigation bar, we're going to use the nav HTML semantic tag. And right there, we can give it a class name equal to app__navbar. Throughout this entire video, you'll see me use the CSS BEM model quite a lot. And that is a CSS methodology that's going to make it easier to read and write CSS. As you can see, BEM stands for Block Element Modifier. And when we write CSS, we're going to write like this: block, element, and then modifier. If you want to read more about the BEM model, I'm going to put some educational links down below, so feel free to check them out. With that said, we can continue coding out our navbar. So now that we have the nav, we can actually implement this CSS class. So let's open up the navbar.css file. Let's create a new class called app__navbar. Let's give this navbar a width of 100%. Let's also give it a display equal to flex. And let's also give it a border equal to 2px solid black, just so we can see what we're working with. There we go. Now we can first add some more elements into that navigation bar, and then we can continue with the styles implementation. That way, we'll see what the styles that we write actually change in the code. So let's create a div inside of this navbar, and this div is going to have a class name equal to app__navbar-logo. Inside of this div, we're going to have an image, and that image is going to be a self-closing tag that's going to have the source equal to images.gericht. And let's also give this image an alt tag, which means alternative text if the image is not recognizable by the browser. And let's simply say app logo. If we save it, you won't see anything right now because the logo is white, as you can see if I drag it right here. So we'll have to make this dark. For now, we can go below this div and create a UL. UL stands for an unordered list. And inside of that UL, we can have a lot of different LIs, which are list items. This UL is going to have a class name equal to app__navbar-links. And each one of our links is going to have a class name equal to p__open sans. This is simply going to be a paragraph that's going to be of this specific font. This here is a class name that we've defined in the app.css. Each one of our list items is going to be an anchor tag, A. And that A is going to have an href equal to hash or pound and then specific URL. In this case, the first link is going to be to home. Now we can duplicate this link a few more times. I just press on this line right here, and then holding Alt and Shift and arrow down, you can duplicate the line. The second link is going to be about, and right here we can say about. Then the third one is going to be menu. So let's do menu and then menu with a capital M. Then we're going to have awards and the awards right here. And finally contact and contact right here. Now, if we save that, we can go back and the text is right here, but as you can see, it is white, so we cannot really see it. We are yet to change the color of the navigation bar so that we can see the logo and the menu items. So now that we have these items, let's go to the navbar CSS and let's continue implementing the styles. We won't need the border anymore, but we will need justify content, and that's going to be set to space between. Then we're going to have the align items right here. That's going to be set to center. We're going to have the background set to var. Var means that we're using a CSS variable, and that's going to be color-black. And as soon as you save that, you can notice everything we've done so far. Finally, let's add just a bit of padding, 1 rem on top and bottom, and 2 rem on left and right. There we go. This is already looking so much better. So now let me explain a few things right here. We're using display flex. I love display flex. It makes it so easy for you to position the elements however you want inside of a div. In this case, we've used justify content space between, and along the x-axis that align the logo on the left side and menu items on the right side. That happened because inside of our navbar, we have only 2 elements. The first one is going to be the logo, and then the second one is going to be the menu list. using align items center, we align them vertically. As you can see, they are in the center right here vertically. And then we added some padding and we used a CSS variable, color black. And if you remember correctly, that's coming from index CSS. At the top, we defined some of the most commonly used colors for this project. One of these is color black. Great. So now we can continue implementing our navigation bar. Let's add the styles for the Navbar logo. So just below app navbar, we can say .app__navbar -logo. Let's give it a display is equal to flex. We're gonna make it justify dash content is going to be equal to flex dash start. This is going to make it appear on the start. And then finally, align dash items is going to be center. There we go. Now it's centered. Now we can also change the width of that logo. So we can say .app__navbar -logo. And then the image inside of that logo, we can set the width to be something like 150 pixels. There we go. This is already looking so much better. Now we can style the links. So we can say .app__navbar -links. We can set the flex to be equal to 1. That way the menu is going to take most of the space of the screen. Then we can set the display to be equal to flex again. Justify dash content is going to be set to center. And then align dash items is going to be set to center as well. There we go. And finally, we have to remove these bullet points. So we can say list dash style is none. There we go. Now we have our menu. But we have to change each list item inside of the menu. So we can say .app__navbar -links and then li. In here, we can simply set the margin on top and bottom to be 0, but on left and right, set it to 1 rem. And let's also give it a cursor pointer. When we hover over it, we'll know that it's clickable. There we go. This is looking like a great navigation bar already. Finally, we can copy this, paste it below, and we can say :hover. So what's going to happen once we hover over it? We can change the color to be equal to var, and then --color -gray. There we go. As you can see, now we get real-time feedback that we are actually hovering over something and that we can click it. Now let's go back to our JSX file, and below the UL, we're going to have one more div. This div is going to have a class name app__navbar -login. And inside of there, we're going to have two more anchor tags. The first anchor tag is going to have an href that's going to be #login. And it's going to have a class name equal to p__open sans. And it's simply going to say log in or register, like that. Let's save it. There we go. Let's create one empty div right here to create some space. And let's create one final anchor tag right here. That anchor tag is going to simply point to /, which is home. And it's also going to have a class name equal to p__open sans. And it can say book a table or book table. There we go. So now we can style those. We can start by styling the .app__navbar -login. And again, we're going to use display flex. We're going to use the justify content of flex end right now and align -items set to center. We can now copy this, paste it below, but this time interact with the anchor tag inside of this div. And we can simply set the margin to be equal to 0 on top and bottom and 1 rem on left and right. We can also set the text decoration to be equal to none. And in here, we can provide the transition to be equal to 0.5 seconds and ease, like this. So now if we saved it, you can see those two extra items. I'm going to reset the screen zoom. There we go. So this is looking even better. And now let's copy this one more time. And let's change the hover right here On hover, we can give it a border dash bottom, 1 pixel, solid, var, color, golden. So golden is going to be quite of a theme for this specific project. And there we go. There is even some slight animation right here. You can barely see it. Great. So finally, we can also change the div inside of the Navbar login by saying .app__navbar dash login and then div. We're going to give that div a width, which is going to be of 1 pixel. We can give it a height of 30 pixels, and we can set the background or background color to be var, color, and then gray. That's going to create a vertical line between the last 2 items on our list, giving it that nice touch. Now we have the logo on the left side, we have menu items on the center, and we have login and book a table on the right side as more prominent Navbar features. Great. We can go back to Navbar, and now below this div, we can create one final div. This div is going to have a class name equal to app__navbar dash small screen. This is going to be the navigation bar for smaller devices. Inside of here, we can render .hamburger menu by saying GI hamburger menu as a self-closing tag. It's going to have a color equal to #FFF, and it's going to have a font size equal to 27 pixels, and it's going to have an on-click property, which is right now going to be empty. It might give us an error if we leave it empty, so let's create an empty callback function instead. Let's save it. There we go. You can see the hamburger menu on the right side, and below that hamburger menu, we can essentially just copy the list we already have. So right here, I'm going to copy this UL, paste it right here with all of our list items, but we're going to change some things. Inside of here, this is not going to be app navbar links. It's going to be app__navbar dash small screen dash links. And then all of that is going to be in one more div. So right here, we can create a div that's going to have a class name equal to app__navbar dash small screen underscore overlay. And we're going to have flex__center and slide dash bottom. Now inside of that div, we're going to have an icon, which is going to be MD outline restaurant menu with a font size of 27. It's going to have a class name equal to overlay__close. And it's also going to have an on click, which is going to be set to simply an empty callback function, at least for now. And let's make sure to close it right here. So now we can pull this menu inside of that div so that we have the icon and the menu right here, one next to another. Let's save this. And there we go. You can see that now our mobile menu is visible here as well. And that's because we haven't yet implemented the classes for our small screen links. So we can do that right now. Let's for now say .app__navbar dash small screen. It's going to have a display set to none. That's going to be on bigger devices. But later on, once we implement media queries, we're going to bring that back into play. For now, let's create that overlay as well. So that's going to be .app__navbar dash small screen underscore overlay. And also before we start writing code, let me show you what am I referring to. If we go to the finished site, by the way, you can visit it by going to gericht.vercel.app. And if you just scale this up a bit to go to the hamburger menu and click it, we're now building this nice overlay that's going to show on tablet devices and mobile devices. And you can see this restaurant icon at the top right. We can use that to close it. So this is great. Right now, we're building this black overlay with these items. So for the overlay, we're going to set the position to be equal to fixed. We want it to appear on the entire screen. So we're going to say top is 0 and left is 0. And width is going to be 1%, as well as the height is going to be set to 100 VH, which means the entire height of the screen. Then we can set the background to be equal to var color black like this, and transition is going to be 0.5 seconds, ease. Finally, flex direction is going to be column, because as you can see, these items are not coming up in a row, they're coming up in a column. And also the Z index is going to be set to 5. That means that the overlay is going to appear over the actual page. So now we can go back to our own website and let's style that close icon. That's going to be .app__navbar -small screen _overlay and then space .overlay __close. We can set the font dash size to be equal to 27 pixels. We can set the color to be equal to var color golden. We can also set the cursor to be set to pointer. Position is going to be set to absolute, and it's going to be positioned on the top 20 pixels and also on the right side 20 pixels. There we go. Again, we cannot yet see anything because right now the overlay is hidden and also the mobile menu is hidden. But we might be able to see our mobile menu if we implement a media query right here, media screen, and max-width is 1150 pixels. In here, we can say .app-links, and we want to set the display to be equal to none. So we're going to hide our main navigation bar, but the app__navbar -small screen right here, we want to set the display to be equal to flex to make it visible. There we go. So now we can implement the logic for what happens once we click on this hamburger icon. To do that, we can transform this from a function with an instant return into a normal function that has curly brace and then a return statement right here. Of course, we need to indent this as well, and then add a curly brace at the end. That's going to allow us to now add a React state right here, const toggle menu, and set toggle menu is equal to react.useState. And at the start, it's going to be toggled to false. Of course, you can either use React dot to get to the use state, or you can simply import it right here by writing comma use state. Use state in React allow us to make some dynamic changes when you click something or depending on some kind of parameters. So in this case, the only thing we have to do, if we click the hamburger menu, we want to set toggle menu to be set to true. And if we click right here to close it, we want to set toggle menu to be set to false. We can save that. And now we only want to show this div if the toggle menu is set to true. So what we can do, let's first divide it from the rest of the content like this. And we can say new dynamic code block. JSX is special because it allows us to have some logic right here. So we can say if true, then render something out. In this case, if the toggle menu is set to true, in that case, we can show this block of code. So we can end it right here. And there we go. Now we're showing this div only if the toggle menu is set to true. I reloaded the page and you can see it's hidden. And if I click it, it shows up. But right now we don't have that restaurant icon to close it because we don't yet have the overlay. So to show the overlay, looks like I have a small typo right here. I'm missing another E right here. So if I do that, we can now see that great overlay and we can close it, open it, close it, and there we go. Let's implement the actual list items inside of that overlay. We can do that above our media queries, below the overlay close. First, we can say .app__navbar -small screen _links, and we can set the list style to be equal to none. That here should have removed these bullet points, but that didn't happen. So let's see what's happening. App navbar -small screen _links. And we're going to go here and try to see where do we have those links. And it looks like I also missed an E here, and this here should have been an underscore. So if you fix that, you can notice that the bullet points are gone. Now we can copy this just below, and let's give them some margin, like 2 rem, both on top and bottom and left and right. But we want to target each individual LI. There we go. The margin has been applied. Let's also make them a cursor pointer. Then we can change the color to be equal to var color golden. Let's also increase the font size to be equal to 2 rem. Let's use the text align to center them. And finally, let's use the font family to be equal to var, and that's going to be font base, like this. There we go. This is again another CSS variable we've created at the start. And this is already looking so much better. Let's now copy this. And just below, we want to implement the hover as well. So we can say colon hover, and then color is going to be var color white. From golden to white, this is already looking so much better. And now we are technically done with our navigation bar, but we want to make sure that it looks good on all screen sizes. So the first screen size we can work on is going to be 2000 pixels. So let's copy this, add media and screen, and that's going to be 2000 pixels. Again, you can play with these sizes, but there are some most commonly used sizes like 2000, 1150, 650 pixels for mobile devices. These are the screen sizes we're going to use. So we can copy this as well. And the last one we're going to use is going to be for mobile devices, max width 650. And that's going to be at the end. We're going to start from the widest to the least wide of them all, which is a mobile device. So on big devices, we can say .app__navbar dash logo, and then image is going to be width 210 pixels. Let's check it out. This is going to make the logo just a bit bigger on larger devices. And finally, on mobile devices, we have to change the navbar bit. So we're going to do .app__navbar. But first, let's check it out. How does it actually look like on mobile devices? To see how does a website look on mobile device, you can go to inspect and then click this icon right here, toggle device toolbar. Usually I go here and check for, let's say, iPhone 12 Pro. There we go. This right now is not looking the best. We have horizontal scroll, which is something you never want to have on a mobile device. So something is going outside of the borders. Let's try and fix that. We're gonna set the padding to be equal to 1 rem right here. There we go. That's going to provide us with some more space. And then the app__navbar dash login. In this case, we're gonna set the display to be equal to none because we don't have enough space to show everything on that mobile navigation bar. So now if you click here, you can see it just fine. And finally, let's change the logo width. So I'm gonna copy what we have right here, paste it down here, and the width is going to be 110 pixels. So now we have Garrick on the left side and we have a hamburger menu on the right side, which when we click it, we can see the entire menu. But if we go to our finished site, garrick.vercel.app, go to inspect and toggle on the mobile toolbar, you can notice that in here, we don't have any horizontal scroll. Everything fits on one screen and we can click it. This is looking so much better. So back on our own site, we have to find a way to eliminate this scroll. And this is happening because the width of the navigation bar is wider than the actual viewport. So let's go ahead and fix that together. Just to make the life easier for us to debug, we can for now comment out all of the other sections by going into app, selecting them and pressing Ctrl// to simply comment them out. And then we'll be able to comment each one back in one by one. I've paused the video for a few minutes trying to find the mistake I've made while recording. But hey guys, I just reloaded the actual server by stopping it from running and then running npm start again. And would you look at that? The layout actually fixed itself. So sometimes you won't be the one creating the bugs. Maybe sometimes you just have to reload your React application and the issue is going to get fixed. And I always like to include these bugs in the video because you can see that not everything is perfect and not everything is going to work on the first try. But as soon as we reloaded the app, we can actually see that this is working perfectly as it does right here. With that said, we're completely done with our navigation bar, both on our mobile view and on our desktop view. If we extend it even further, you can see the entire navigation bar is here. So we can go back into the app.js, we can uncomment everything, and then let's leave everything here, but let's move into the header part. Implementing the header is going to be our next goal. To start creating the header, we can first import in curly braces images from //constants. Now, our first div is going to have a class name equal to app__header space app__wrapper and section__padding. It's also going to have an ID equal to home. That way we can scroll to it. Now inside of this div, we're going to have one more div, and this div is going to have a class name equal to app__wrapper_info. And just below that div, we're going to have one more div. We can space it out. So that div is going to have a class name equal to app__wrapper_img. So the second div is going to contain the image and the first one is going to contain the info. Let me show you what I mean. If we go to our design, you can notice that this here is going to be our header. On the left side, we're going to have some text right here with the title, and on the right side, we're going to have a big juicy image. Inside of our wrapper_info, we're going to have a new component that we're going to create right away. And that component is called subheading. Subheading with a capital H is a component that we already have the file for. It's in the components and then subheading right here. So the only thing we have to do is import it. One cool trick you can do is double click subheading and press Ctrl space. Immediately you'll be able to import it. Just like that. If this trick for whatever reason didn't work for you, you can just write import in curly braces subheading from // components. Now, if we go back to our site, you can see subheading right here. The reason why we have a specific component for the subheading is because we're going to reuse that across multiple sections. Whenever in React you want to reuse something across many sections in many different places, create a new component out of it. That way, you won't have to write all the code every time. You'll just be able to import that component. So let's Control click to go into the subheading and we can implement it right away. Inside of this component, we're going to also import images from // constants. Make sure the images is in curly braces. Our subheading component is going to have a div that's going to have an inline style. We can create inline styles like this. Style is equal to, and then curly braces, and then an object inside of it. We can say margin bottom is equal to 1 rem. And again, you could have used a class here, but I just wanted to show you that you can do inline styles as well. Inside of this div, we can create a paragraph with a class name equal to p__cormorant. And this cormorant right here is just the name of the font. If we go to index CSS, you can notice that we're going to have, if we scroll up, there we go, font base, cormorant font. And the second font is the Open Sans. So in this case, we just want to use this font. Now inside of there, we can render something like a title. This title will have to be dynamic. Right now, we cannot pass dynamic values, but I'm going to show you how we can do that really soon. Just below, we can render a self-closing image tag that's going to have a source equal to images.spoon. And then we can say alt tag is going to simply be spoon, and the class name is going to be spoon__image or img. There we go. So now if we save that, you'll be able to see just a little spoon right here, and that's going to serve as our heading. So now we can go back to our header, and just below our subheading, we can implement an h1. This h1 is going to have a class name equal to app__header-h1. And in here, we can say the key to fine dining. There we go. If we save that, you can see it right here. But now let's also pass a dynamic title to our heading. So right here, we can create a new so-called prop. If you used React before, then you'll know that using the props like this, when you create a new component, you can pass specific properties into it, and then you can pass some values. In this case, we can pass a string called chase the new flavor. And this value is now going to be dynamically passed into our subheading inside of the props object. We can immediately destructure the title from there, and then using dynamic rendering inside of the JSX, we can simply show the title right here. We haven't yet implemented the styles for our header, so let's go ahead and do that right now. We can open up our files and go to header.css. The first thing we can of course do is set the app.header and set the background color to be equal to var -- color -black. As soon as we do that, you can now see the subheading right here. Now let's style the h1 by saying app__header -h1. And I'm going to pull this just a bit to the side so that we can see it. Right now it is dark, so we cannot see it. But if we change the font family to var, and then that's going to be -- font-base. And if we give it color equal to var -- color -golden, we should be able to see it right here. Let's check it out. It still seems to be dark. So this is app__header -h1. And right here, app__header -h1. This seems good. The only mistake here is that I had a typo. Let's also try to divide the letters a bit by using letter spacing 0.04 em. If we save that, you can notice now it seems more spread out, and we can also use the text transform uppercase. That's going to make the text uppercase. Then we can set the line -height to something like 117 pixels. I found that value to work the best to give it some space here. And we can also set the font size to be something like 90 pixels. The key to fine dining. There we go. And while we're here, let's also provide the classes for the image. .app__header -image img. Width is going to be set to 80%. Now, if we go to our header, just below this h1, we can add a paragraph that's going to have a class name equal to p__open sans, and we can give it an inline style that's going to be margin, 2 rem on top and bottom, and 0 on left and right. Inside of here, we can use some generic text. So if we go to our design, we can zoom into here, and you can double click the text right here and copy it. Let's just go back and paste it straight in. Now, if we go back, you can see the text right here. Finally, if we go to the button right here, the type is going to be equal to button, and the class name is going to be custom__button. And the button can say explore menu, custom__button here. I'm not really good with typing today, but there we go. That got fixed. And finally, for the image, we just need to put the image tag right here as a self-closing tag. Source or src is going to be images.welcome. And the alt is going to be header img. If we save that, we can see that great image right here. And with that, our header is already looking so much better. If we didn't scroll down to see all of the other not yet finished sections, you will think that this is a perfectly created site. And it is. It's designed perfectly. But we are yet to implement all of the other sections of the page. The next section on our list is going to be about us, where we're going to have this great knife in the middle, about us on the left side, and the history on the right side. And in here, you can see what did I mean when I told you that you can reuse React components. See this little spoon here and the golden text? Well, that is oddly familiar to this, about us and then a spoon. And that is similar to our history and a spoon. So all of this can be created and reused later on. Great. So with that said, let's go to our app.js, right here, and you can control click to go into the About Us section. To start implementing the About Us page, we can again import images, which are coming from / constants. We're always going to use some images, so that's good. Then let's give a class name to the first div right here, and that's going to be class name equal to app__ about us space app__ space flex__ center and space section__ padding. We also want to give it an ID equal to about so that we can scroll down to the about section. Great. Now inside of that div, we're going to have a few more divs as we usually do. That's how you create a layout. The div inside of the main div is going to have a class name equal to app__ about us dash overlay and then space flex__ center. Inside of that div, we're going to have just one image with a source equal to images.g. So this is going to be that big G letter that you can see in the background. Then let's also give it an alt tag, which is simply going to be G letter, and we can close that. Now, if we save that and go back, we can see that big letter G right here. So to continue, we're going to create one more div just below this one. And this div is going to have a class name equal to app__ about us dash content flex__ center. Inside of here, we're going to have all the content for the about us, meaning the left side right here. So let's slowly start creating that left side. Let's create one more div. And this div is going to have a class name equal to app__ about us dash content__ about. Inside of here, we're going to have an h1, and that h1 is going to have a class name equal to head text__ cormorant, and it's simply going to say about us. Then we also want to render an image. So right here, let's render the image tag. That's going to be this little spoon image. So we can say image source images.spoon, and the alt tag is going to be about_spoon. And we can also give it a class name equal to spoon__ image, or rather just img. Finally, we can just create one more paragraph just below that image. And that paragraph is going to have a class name equal to p__ open sans. And we can simply copy this lorem ipsum inside of it. So let's copy it, paste it straight here. And the last thing we need is going to be this no more button. So right here, let's create a button. And that button is going to have a type equal to button. Class name is equal to custom__ button. And it's going to say no more. We can now save this and see how does it look like. Okay, already not that bad. But of course, we have to write all of these classes to fix the layout a bit and to fix the styles. Before we do that, we can also add that knife in the middle, and we can also add the second part as it is incredibly similar to the About Us section. So let's simply add one more div. Just below this inner div right here, we can add a div, and that div is going to have a class name equal to app__ about us dash content__ knife and flex__ center. So inside of there, the only thing we need, of course, is going to be an image that's going to have a source equal to images.knife. We can also set the alt tag to be about_knife. Now, if we save that and go back, you can see that big knife in the middle. That's looking great, and it's looking harder to make than it actually is. Now what we have to do is copy this entire inner div, which is the About Us section, and paste it below, because as we said, these sections are similar. The only change we'll have to make is this here is not going to be About Us content__ about, it's going to be _history. It's going to say our history, The text here can remain the same, the spoon is going to remain the same, and the button is going to remain the same. So now we can save this, go back, and this is already looking so much better. But of course, now is the time that we fix the layout and positioning. We can do that, of course, using our About Us CSS file. Let's start by relatively positioning the entire div. We can do that by saying .app__about us, and then that's going to be position is relative. That is going to allow us to move the overlay around. So we can say .app__about us -overlay, and then that's going to be position is set to absolute, and inset is going to be set to 0. Inset is a property that is not that often used. It is used when we have absolute position, and it allows us to more easily correspond the top and bottom or left and right values. So as soon as we do that, you can see that right now our G is coming on top of the actual content and the content is behind. So what we can do is do the .app__about us -overlay and then image. In here, we can set the width and the height. I found 391 pixels to be fine for the width. And then we can set the height to be equal to 415 pixels. Finally, we can set the Z index to be equal to 0. That way, the G is actually going to go behind the content once we lift the content up. And for the width and the height, the easiest way to see is to simply click the G icon right here, or any icon for that matter, and simply read the styles. So if we go to inspect, you can see the width and the height right here. So now we can move to the content, and that is .app__about us -content, and then width is set to 100%, as well as the Z index is set to 2. That's going to push the content above the G, and that's going to create this nice look. Finally, we can play with the positioning of this entire div containing the content, and we can do that by saying .app__about us -content_about. Right here, we can set the flex to be equal to 1. That's going to push everything to the left side. Then we can set the display to be equal to flex, justify -content to be equal to flex -end. Now everything is going to the end of the screen, but we have to do align -items, flex -end as well. And finally, and most importantly, flex -direction has to be column. There we go. And finally, let's also do the text -align to be equal to right. Doesn't look so good so far, but as soon as we add some margins, it's going to look a lot better. So let's do .app__about us -content_knife. And there, let's do margin, 2 rem on top and bottom, and 4 rem on left and right. There we go. Now let's change the height of the actual knife by saying .app__about us -content_knife image, or img. Height is going to be set to 910 pixels. There we go. This is already looking more like it. Now we have to do everything we've done with the about us to our history. So let's copy this entire part, paste it below, change this to _history instead of about. Flex is going to remain 1, display is going to remain flex, but it's not going to be flex end, it's going to be flex start right here, as well as flex start right here. And the text align is going to be set to left. There we go. This is already looking more like it. Finally, let's add some margins inside of each one of these divs. We can do that by copying this right here, and then targeting the P element of that specific div. We can duplicate that, target the P element of the about section as well. And now we can simply say margin is 2 rem on top and bottom and 0 on left and right. There we go. We push the content a bit up and down, and let's change the color to be var --color -gray. Now we're coming closer to the finished design. Let's see how our design looks like on mobile and tablet devices. So as soon as I open up the mobile toolbar by right-clicking and then clicking inspect, and then toggling the device toolbar right here, We're currently on iPhone 12 Pro, and you can notice that this is not looking great. Again, it's coming outside of the actual mobile viewport, and it's not fitting on the screen. So let's start changing the view for mobile devices. We can start by adding add media, screen, and min-width is 2000 pixels. That's for wider devices. Then we can copy that 2 more times. For tablet devices, we're going to use 900 here. And then finally, we're going to use 650 pixels for mobile devices. As we're testing on mobile first, let's change that. So we can do .app __ about us -overlay image. And let's simply set the width of the image to be 80%. And we can also modify the height to be equal to 320 pixels. Right now, we cannot see any changes, but now let's implement the tablet version because that's potentially going to change the mobile version as well. Let's implement the tablet version. We can do that by saying .app __ about us -content, and we can set the flex -direction to be equal to column. We can also change the knife by saying .app __ about us -content _knife. And right here, we're going to change the margin to be 4 rem on top and bottom and 0 rem on left and right. And the last change we can make for our media queries is going to be changing the knife image. So let's simply copy this. We can change the knife image height to be 1110 pixels, like this. And we're gonna also change the margins between the paragraphs. So we can paste this right here, indent it, and make it 4 rem and 0. So now let's reload this page and let's see what's happening with our design. It seems to be breaking. Let's try testing it on, for example, Galaxy Fold. Everything is breaking here as well. Let's try iPad mini. It's looking better here, but that G letter is being skewed. Let's try iPhone XR. Not looking good as well here. Let's see how it should look like on the finished site. So if I open up the inspect element and mobile toolbar, you can see that this part here should be appearing above the knife in the mobile version. So we most likely have a typo somewhere. Let's go into About Us. Right here, look at that inner div. It's the About Us -content. And right here in the CSS, we're properly calling it About Us -content. And here is our issue. Instead of min width, we should have used max width for all of these cases. Whenever you're doing mobile responsiveness for mobile devices and tablets, max width is going to be the thing you're looking for. This was a big typo on my end, and this definitely shouldn't have happened. The reason why it has to be max width, because we want to see devices from the width from 0 to 650. So max is 650, apply these styles. So right now, we're applying the styles, flex direction is column, for mobile devices and larger mobile devices like tablets up to 900 pixels. And now this is looking glorious. We have this big knife here, we have the history, and if we scroll up, we can see that nice header section. Right here, if we click, we're gonna get that nice navigation bar as well. So everything is looking great. If we scroll down, we'll be able to see the next section on our list, and that is going to be the special menu. But before we start doing our special menu, let's close our inspect tools and let's expand this site to its full glory. There we go. This is a really nice About Us and history page where we can click it and potentially go to a full About Us page. This, paired with a great header, is already a phenomenal start to a great fine dining restaurant. As we've mentioned, the next section is special menu, so let's go ahead and do that right away. Of course, as we always do, we can go to our app and then control-click special menu, and we are right here. We have the website on the right side, we have the code on the left, and we are ready to start creating the JSX. To create the special menu, we're again going to import something. This time, it's going to be images, as well as the fake demo data from //constants. And we're gonna also need two different components. The first component is the one we've already created, the subheading. And the second one is going to be a new one on our list, which is called a menu item. These components are of course coming from // components. Now that we have all the imports ready, we are ready to start creating the JSX part. And we can start by giving this div a class name equal to app__special menu with a capital M, flex__center, section__padding, and the ID is going to be equal to menu, just so we can scroll to that part of the page. Now inside of there, we're going to have a div, and that div is going to have a class name equal to app__special menu dash title. Inside of there, we can render the subheading component as a self-closing tag and provide a title equal to, let's check the design, that's going to be menu that fits your palette. So let's copy it and paste it right here. Now, if we go back, we won't be able to see it yet because it's white on white, but as soon as we add the dark background, it's going to make more sense. Now, let's add this heading below. So we can say h1 right here, and that's going to be class name is equal to head text__ cormorant. And we can simply say today's special. There we go. Now this is going to be our title and subtitle. Below that, we can have the actual menu. So let's create a div. That div is going to have a class name equal to app__special menu dash menu. Now inside of there, we're going to have a few divs. The first one for the left side, wine and beer. Then we're going to have the div that contains this image. And finally, we're going to have our cocktails. So let's start by creating the first one, which is this left side right here, wine and beer. That's going to be div. That's going to have a class name equal to app__special menu dash menu underscore wine. And then it's going to be flex__center. Inside of there, we can provide a paragraph tag that's going to say wine and beer. And just below that, we can have a div. That div is going to have a class name equal to app__special menu underscore items. And this paragraph above is also going to have a class name equal to app__special menu underscore heading. There we go. And finally, inside of this div, we can map over data.wines.map, where we get a wine or a beer, and we also get an index of that wine or beer, and we can just use parentheses to instantly return something. In this case, let's return for now just a simple paragraph that's going to render the name of that specific wine. In this case, that's going to be wine.title. Let's go back to our website, and there we go. We have names of different wines. But of course, this is looking so bad because we didn't yet implement the styles. We're going to implement them straight away. But first, let's just add two more divs. The first div is going to be just below this div right here, and it's going to be the div for our image. The image I'm talking about is this central image right here. So that div is going to have a class name equal to app__special menu dash menu underscore img. And right here, we can render img with a source images.menu. And alt tag is going to be menu img. If we save that, there we go. We have this huge image right here. And the last thing we have to do is copy the div before containing our menu and paste it below. There are just a few things we have to change. Now it's not going to be menu underscore wine, it's going to be menu underscore cocktails. And right here below, this is going to be data.cocktails, where we're going to get each individual cocktail, and then we can render cocktail.title. There we go. So now in here, we have different cocktails, and in here we have different wines. The last thing we're missing is going to be this view more button. So let's just code that out, and then we'll be able to add the styles. So below not only this div, but this div as well, let's create a div. That div is going to have a style equal to margin top is equal to 15 pixels, like this. We could have used a class as well, but this only has one specific property, so I just used a style. And there we're going to have a button that is going to be type is equal to button, and it's going to have a class name equal to custom underscore underscore button. Finally, we can say view more, and our button is right here. Right now, it's really hard to see what's happening here. So let's go ahead and implement the layout and the background in the special menu.css. Inside of here, the first thing we're going to do is do the .app underscore underscore special menu, and we can set the flex dash direction to be equal to column. And more importantly, background is going to be set to var color dash black. There we go. This is already looking so much better. Then below that, we can say .app underscore underscore special menu dash title. We can put the margin dash bottom to 2 rem like this. And we can also say text dash align is equal to center. There we go. Now let's actually style the menu. We can do that by saying .app underscore underscore special menu dash menu. Width is going to be set to 100%. Now, if we save that, we cannot yet see that menu because the text is dark. But if we tried hovering over it, there we go. We can see that the menu is here. Let's also add a bit of margin. Margin 2 rem on top and bottom and 0 on left and right. Let's also make it a display is equal to flex. Justify dash content is center. Align dash items is flex dash start. And finally, flex dash direction is row. You might be wondering, why am I setting this to row? Well, by default, it is set to row, that's true. But later on mobile devices, we might change this back to column. So it's important that we set it up right here. And now if we select this right here, you can see that we have our menu. And on the right side, we have our other menu. Now, considering we cannot see these values right here, they're just paragraphs without any styles. It might be a good idea to go back into the special menu. And right here, instead of paragraphs, let's render a special component. More specifically, let's render a menu item. Menu item is going to have a key equal to wine.title plus index to make sure that the key is unique. It's also going to have a title equal to wine.price. And finally, it's going to have tags, which is equal to wine.tags. Now we can copy this line and paste it below for the cocktails. Of course, we'll have to change this to cocktail.title. Then for the title, we're going to use cocktail.title, not price here. For the price, we're going to use cocktail.price. And finally, for tags, we're going to use cocktail.tags. But it looks like I missed the price on our wines. So right here, let's add the price as well, equal to wine.price. There we go. Now we can control click into our menu item component. Inside of here, we already know what we're getting. We're getting a title, a price, and tags. And based on that, we can create a div with a class name app underscore underscore menu item, like so. And you'll see me sometimes use camel case or sometimes all lowercase. Use whatever you prefer, but make sure that you stay consistent with it. So inside of that div, we're going to have one more div, And this div is going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore menu item dash head. Inside of that div, we're going to have one more div, and this div is going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore menu item dash name. Inside of that div, we can render a paragraph tag. This paragraph is going to have a class name equal to p underscore underscore cormorant, and then let's also give it a style, an inline style equal to color is going to be equal to a string of hash DCCA87. I found this color to work the best. And inside of there, we can dynamically render a title. There we go. Now we can see the prices and titles right here. Wait, but that's definitely not okay. If we can see the prices on the left side, but titles on the right side, and we've only rendered the title, something must be off. So let's go to special menu, and right here for wine title, we need to pass wine.title as well. There we go. So now we can see the wine names and cocktail names. Going back to menu item, now that we have this menu name, we of course need the price. So let's simply copy this div, put a space in between. In here, we're gonna say price. And of course, we can render the price right here. But in this case, we won't need the style of color. So let's simply remove that. There we go. So now we have the price below the name as well. The only thing we need, if we look at the design, is going to be this dash between them. So how are we going to create that dash? Well, let's create just one div that's going to be a self-closing tag, and it's going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore menu item dash dash. There we go. That's it. And then finally, we need some tags like AU, buttle, AR buttle, and so on. So not below this div, but below this div, we're going to create one final div, and that div is going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore menu item dash sub. And there we're going to render a paragraph. It's going to have a class name equal to p underscore underscore open sans, and it's going to have a style equal to a color of hash AAA. There we can render the tags. Now if we save that and go back, we should be able to see the tags, and here they are. A gives us that nice grayish or brownish color. This is already looking so much better. Of course, we have to decrease the width and the height of this image. Before we do that though, let's first implement all of these styles for the menu item. Let's go to our menu item, .app underscore underscore menu item. The width is going to be set to 100%. The margin is going to be set to 1 rem on top and bottom and 0 on left and right. Let's also give it a display is equal to flex, and flex dash direction is set to column. And in here, I'm missing an M at the end. That's going to apply the changes. Now let's do the .app underscore underscore menu item dash head. Let's set the display to be equal to flex. Let's use the justify dash content of space dash between and align dash items to center. Now, if we save that, you can notice that now the head or the header, where we have the title on the left side and we have the price on the right side. The only thing we're missing is that dash in between. Before we implement the dash, let's also do the .app underscore underscore menu item dash sub. Let's give it a width of 100% and a margin dash top of 0.2 rem. There we go. Let's space this out from the title just a bit. Then for the .app underscore underscore menu item dash name, we can give a flex is equal to 1. That's going to make it take just a bit more space if the title is long. Finally, let's implement that dash by saying .app underscore underscore menu item dash dash, and let's go to our design, and let's see if we click on this dash, can we get any meaningful styles from here? inspect. Let's try to copy the styles straight from here and paste it here. Let's see what styles will we need and which styles we won't need. In this case, let's make the width equal to 90% to make it just a bit shorter. The height can be 1 pixel. We don't need the static positioning, nor the left or top values. The background is not going to be FA. It can be our own color, var -- color - golden. We can remove all of this auto layout, and margin is going to be 0, and then 1 rem on left and right. There we go. So now let's add semicolons, save it, go back. If I zoom it out a bit like this, it's looking so much better. The last thing we have to change is going to be the price. So .app__menu item -price. And right here, we can set the display to be equal to flex, justify -content to flex-end, and finally align -items to flex-end as well. There we go. Everything is looking so much better. Now that we're done styling each individual menu item, we can go back to special menu.css. And let's continue implementing the heading. We can do that by saying .app__special menu -menu and then _heading. Let's try to see what that heading is. If we go back to our JSX and let's search for _heading. There we go. That's going to be wine and beer. Right now, we don't even know what it is because we cannot seem to see it. It's dark and it's not on this page. Oh, there we go. It's right here hiding. We are yet to style it properly. Let's go back to special menu.css and let's see how should it look like. There we go. Wine and beer. So right here, we can set the font-family to be equal to var font and then -base. Then we can set the font weight to be equal to 600. We can set the font -size to be equal to 45 pixels. Line -height can be 58.5 pixels. And again, if you're wondering where am I getting these values from, you can find most of the CSS values straight from the design. If we double click right here, there we go. You can see the width, height, font weight 600, font size 45, line height 130%. We're going to also use letter -spacing, and that's going to be 0.04 em. And finally, we need the color, which is going to be color-white. Now, if we save this and go back, reload the page, we still cannot see the title. It's still hidden right here. So most likely I have a typo in the special menu.jsx. So if we go here, let's try to find that heading. app__special menu_menu. This here was supposed to be -menu. And right here below, this here, -menu as well. But of course, on the second one, we should say cocktails. There we go. So now this is already looking much better. Right now we can at least see it here, but it's not positioned correctly. So let's see where's the problem with that. Let's go back to our special menu.css. And we're going to change the .app__special menu-menu_wine. And also, let's add a comma, and let's also change the cocktails. So right here, we can say comma, and then cocktails. We want to change flex to be equal to 1, width to be equal to 100%, and most importantly, flex-direction to be equal to column. There we go. Wine and beer appearing on the top and cocktails on the top as well. And finally, let's decrease the height and the width of this image by saying .app__special menu-menu_img. Let's set the width to be equal to 410 pixels and margin to be 0 on top and bottom and 2 rem on left and right. Now let's copy this as well, paste it below, and now we want to target the actual image where we're going to set the width to be equal to 100% of that 410 pixel div. And there we go. Finally, let's set the height to be equal to auto. The last thing we're going to do is set the .app__special menu_menu_items. Let's make that display is equal to flex. We just broke everything, but if we bring the flex direction to column, everything is going to be fine again. And now we can add the margin to rem and then 0. There we go, just to provide some spacing. And finally, width is going to be 100%. So this is a great looking wine, cocktail, and beer list if you ask me. Now, of course, we have to ask ourselves, is this looking good on mobile devices? And the answer is most likely not, right? Well, let's check it out. Yep, if you said no, you would be right. It's breaking. So let's go ahead and quickly fix it. As we've learned so far, we can do add media, screen, and is it max or min? Ask yourself, we made that mistake the last time. It's going to be max-width. We can do 2000 pixels. Now let's duplicate this 2 times. The second one is going to be 1150 pixels. And then finally, the last one is going to be 650 pixels. Let's start from the smallest to the largest. In here, we can say .app__special menu-menu_img. Width is going to be 100%. I still cannot seem to see the image right here. Maybe it's hiding, but let's go on the deployed side and see how this should look like. If we scroll down, we have the wine and beer list here. We have the image, and then finally we have the cocktails. So to be able to see the image and these lists one below another, we have to go into our 1150 pixels media query because we want the logic inside of the CSS block both for tablet devices, but also for mobile devices. If you think about it, the styles that are in here are only going to be available for mobile devices. But whatever you put right here, let's say XX, that's going to be available both here and also here. But whatever you put here is going to be available here, here, and here. That's because max width is larger than these max widths. So you have to be careful where you put what, because some of these styles can be applied across multiple media queries. In the middle media query, let's put .app__special menu-menu. Flex-direction is going to be column. That's the most important change we have to make. And now almost everything fits right away. What we can do is also set the align-items to be equal to center. And finally, the width to be equal to 100%, just to make sure that everything fits nicely. For mobile devices, one more change that we can make is change the heading right here, .app__special menu-menu_heading, and we can set the font size to be equal to 35 pixels, just to make it a bit smaller, because on smaller devices, this here was seeming too big. And let's also change the line height to be equal to 48.5 pixels. There we go. Also on tablets, let's just change the margin a bit. .app__special menu-menu_img. And let's set the margin to be 3 rem on top and bottom and 0 on left and right. Let's open up the tablet. Let's do iPad Air. And there we go. This is looking great on iPads as well. But now what happens if we go to a bit larger devices like max width 2000? There we can set the .app__special menu-menu. We can do flex-direction is going to be column. Let's try to go to around 2000 pixels. That's going to be around, let's do 1600. There we go. Now we're editing for this screen size. And obviously we have a lot more space to work with here. So let's do align-items is equal to center, and also width to be equal to 100%. There we go. Let's see this side on 1600 as well. this is the finished site. So let's do 1600. And in here, as you can see, we definitely have more than enough space to fit everything in one screen. So if we go back, that's still not the case. So what's happening? Let's also change the margins as we did right here. So I can simply copy this and paste it straight here. And something else is preventing us from showing this in one row. So let's reload the page. When that doesn't do it, that means that something's wrong either in the CSS or JSX. So let's try to find the issue for our 2000 pixels devices. On the deployed side, obviously everything can fit. And right here, not everything can fit in one line. And it looks like I've made a tiny mistake. We don't want to have this in a column. We want to have it in a row as we do at the start right here. So we won't need this at all. And also we won't need this. But what we will need is going to be setting up the width of the image. We were already dealing with that here. So let's copy it, paste it here, and set the width to a bit larger, 650 pixels. We can also copy that, paste it below, target the image, and set the height to be equal to 920 pixels. There we go. So now this fits nicely on one screen. And it looks exactly as it does on the deployed side. Now let's close the inspect element and see how does it look like. If we expand it a lot, there we go. You can see that everything looks great. And if we bring it all the way to mobile size, you can notice that it looks great on mobile size as well. That's going to be it for the special menu section. Now we can go to the app.js, and the next on our list is Chef. So let's control click it, and let's go onto the design and see how does that section look like. There we go. Here is our chef. He has some salad and what we believe in. Okay, this is a great next section to code out, so let's do that right away. As always, to start off, we can import our images. Primarily, that's going to be this chef image right here. And that's coming from //constants. And we're going to also import the subheading. That's a component that we've used a few times so far. So import subheading from //components. Now for our div, we can give it a class name equal to app__bg, app__wrapper, and section__padding. Now let's save that and let's go back to our website. There we go. We see this black section right away, but now let's add a div inside of this div. And this first div is going to have a class name equal to app__wrapper_img, and also space app__wrapper_img-reverse. Now inside of that div, we're going to have our img that's going to have src equal to images.chef. And also let's say alt is going to be chef. There we go. Let's save that. And there we go. Our chef is right here. Below this div, we can have one more div, and that's going to be the div for the content. So right here, we can say class name is equal to app__wrapper_info. Then we're going to have our subheading. So let's say subheading. And as you know, we need to pass a title to it. And in this title, we're going to pass, let's see, chef's word. So let's simply copy that and paste it into the title right here. Then below that, we can create an h1 that's going to have a class name equal to head text ___ cormorant. And inside of there, we can say what we believe in. Again, you can simply copy that from the design. If we save that, this is already looking great. So now below this h1, but still inside of this wrapper info div, we can create one more div. This div is going to have a class name equal to app__chef dash content. And inside of there, we can render a div. That div is going to have a class name equal to app__chef dash content underscore quote. And there we can render an image, an img tag that's going to be a source src images dot quote. And alt tag can also be quote. If we save that, you can see these quotation marks. And just below that, we can create a paragraph. That paragraph is going to have a class name equal to p__open sans. And inside of there, we can simply copy our entire quote, which is right now just lorem ipsum. So let's go ahead and paste it right here. There we go. This is already looking better. And then just below this inner div, we're going to create one more paragraph. And that paragraph is also going to have a class name equal to p__open sans. And it's going to include the rest of the quotation. So you can copy it from here. Let's paste it. There we go. This is already looking much better. And now below this inner div, we can create one final div. That div is going to have a class name equal to app__chef dash sign. And inside of there, we can simply put our chef's name. Let's see, and let's find it here. There we go, Kevin. And we're gonna also put one more p tag. A p tag of class name is equal to p__open sans. And there we can say chef and founder. Finally, we need an image, img, with his signature. So we can say source is equal to images.sign. And alt is going to be sign. There we go. Let's save this. Go back. And this is already looking as it should. We just have to do some minor styling adjustments, positioning, and layout. So to do that, let's go to our chef.css. And right here, we can first focus on the content. So let's do .app__chef dash content. The display is of course going to be flex. Let's also give it flex dash direction is going to be column. Width is going to be set to 100%. And margin dash top is going to be 5 rem. There we go. We just added some space in between. Now below that, we can say .app__chef dash content underscore quote. Let's also make this a display is equal to flex, and then justify dash content is going to be flex dash start. Okay, you can see we positioned this correctly right now. And then align dash items is going to be flex dash end. There we go. So it's now sitting at the end of this specific div right here. Now let's copy this and let's position the image. So let's say img, and that's going to be width of 47 pixels. Height is going to be 40 pixels and margin is going to be 0 on top, 1 rem on right, 1 rem on bottom, and 0 on left. There we go. Now let's fix the signature a bit. .app__chef dash sign. Width is going to be 100%. And margin dash top is going to be 3 rem. There we go. Now let's style this chef and founder sign. So right here, we can say .app__chef dash sign p and then first dash child. Inside of there, we can set the font family to var and then font base. Then let's also change the font weight to 400. Let's also change the font size to 32. Let's save that. There we go. Let's also change the line dash height to something like 41 pixels. Okay, let's add a bit of letter spacing. 0.04 EM is the value we've used before. And let's use text dash transform to capitalize. I see that our chef and founder is not changing, so let me see. And this is going to be app__chef dash sign and p. So if we go under chef, chef sign. Oh, we're actually modifying Kevin. Yeah, but I cannot seem to see it right here. There we go. It's hidden. We have to change the color. So let's go back here. And the last thing we can do is change the color to be equal to var and then dash dash color dash golden. And there we go. Now we can see it. If I zoom this in, scroll down, there we go. This is already looking so much better. Now finally, let's decrease the width of this signature. So we can say .app __ chef dash sign img. Width is going to be 250 pixels. There we go. And let's add a margin dash top of 3 rem. There we go. This is looking so much better. The only thing we have to do to make this mobile responsive is add 2 simple media queries, add media, screen, and max width 2000 pixels. On larger devices, we can again change the image right here. So I'm going to copy this and we're going to simply set the width to be equal to 370 pixels. There we go. To make it just a bit larger, I'm going to copy this entire thing, paste it below. And now for mobile devices, like really small devices, up to 450 pixels, we can change the image to be 80% of that specific screen. So now if we save this, this is going to be it for our chef section. So let's test and see how does it look like on devices of different widths. First, we can check on an iPhone. So let's do iPhone 12 Pro. And let's zoom this in a bit. There we go. This is actually looking great. We have our cocktails and just below we have our chef right here, what we believe in, and there we go. Signature from Kevin, chef and founder. Now let's try with something a bit bigger, like Surface Duo. This is looking great as well. Let's try with iPad Air. Looking great as well. And let's try something like tablet and laptop. There we go. Looking great on laptops as well. What about something like 2000 pixels? Now everything fits in one specific row, left side for the image and right side for the content. And with that said, we are done with the chef part of this website. This section is definitely something that every fine dining restaurant has to have. With that said, let's continue to the next section of our page, and that is intro. If we go to our design and scroll just a bit down, this is going to be an introductory video to our restaurant. Definitely an exciting section to code. Let's start right away by going to App and then right-clicking into Intro. To start creating our video section, we're going to import 2 different icons. The first icon is BS Fill, Play Fill, and the second one is BS Pause Fill. And these icons are coming from React-icons/BS. We also have to import the video itself. So we can do import meal in curly braces from / constants. There we go. If you control click into constants, you'll see that we have a meal assets meal.mp4 file inside of our assets. Great. So now we have everything we need to start creating the JSX. First, let's add a class name to our div. And the class name is going to be app__video. And right inside of there, we're going to have our video. A video is a self-closing HTML5 tag where we can have a source, and the source is going to be equal to meal. So if we go right here, we can see this meal right here. This is a huge video, but right now it's not playing. So what we can do is we can add a type video/mp4. Then we can say loop. We can also say controls is equal to false. And finally, we can say muted. Now, when you work with videos in React, it's also useful to give each video a ref. In this case, let's call it vidRef. Now we can transform this component into a component with a straight return to a component that's going to have curly braces, and the return is going to be this JSX right here. This just allowed us to put some logic right here at the top of our component. More specifically, we're going to say const vidRef is equal to react.useRef. So we just created a reference. If you haven't used refs before, you can hover over this and see. UseRef returns a mutable ref object whose .current property is initialized to what you actually assign it to. So ref.current is going to be this video object. Now that we have our video ref, we're going to also have the use state. So right here, we can say use state and then click this box here. That's going to auto-populate it. And now without clicking anywhere with your mouse, start typing play video and also tab. And at the start, that's going to be set to false. Of course, for the hooks, you can either say react.useState or you can import it at the top. Great. So now we have our video ref and we also have our state. So just below this video, we can create a new div. That div is going to have a class name equal to app__video -overlay flex__center. Inside of there, we can have one more div, and that div is going to have a class name equal to app__video -overlay _circle and flex__center. We can save that. And if we go back to our design, this is what we're right now building, the overlay around the video, and then this circle at the center. Now, alongside this class name, let's first put this into multiple rows or lines. We're going to also have an onClick property. So right here, we can say onClick, and we can call the handle video function. So let's declare that function right here, const handle video is equal to an arrow function. And there we can simply say set play video. And when you want to change the state using the previous state, you need to pass a callback function right inside of here where we get the previous play video. If you haven't used React a lot, this might seem a bit weird, but if you have, then you know that if you simply want to set play video to true or false, you can do that. But if you're changing the state using the previous version of that state, you have to create a callback function where you get that state, and then we can say not previous play video. That means if the play video is true, we're going to toggle it off, and if it's off, we're going to toggle it on. Then we can say if play video is set to true. In that case, we can do video ref .current .pause. And then in other case, if the video isn't playing, we can do the video ref .current .play. And I just noticed that I called it video ref, but rather it should be vidref. There we go. So now we have this on click as well. The last thing we have to do is render out the button. So inside of this div, we can open a new dynamic block and say if play video is true using a ternary operator, then we can render a button. More specifically, we're going to render BS pause fill as a self-closing tag like this. And then else, if the play video is false, we can render BS fill play fill as a self-closing tag. I'm going to hold Alt and click right here and right here because we're going to set the color of both to be equal to #FFF, and font size is going to be equal to 30 for both of them. Now we can indent this properly, put this into the same line because it's just a one-liner like this. And there we go. If the video is playing already, we want to pause it. If the video is paused, we want to play it. Now let's save that, go back to our code, and right now that button is nowhere to be found, and so is our overlay. Of course that is the case because we still haven't implemented the styles. So let's go into the intro.css. First, we can target the video itself by saying .app__video, and let's give it a height of 100 VH. Then we're going to also give it a position equal to relative. Now we can target the .app__video and then the video itself. This time not the div, but the real video. And we can set the width to be equal to 100%. And we can set the height to be equal to 100% as well. Most importantly, object fit has to be cover. The video is now fitting nicely to the height and the width of the screen. Then we're going to focus on the video overlay by saying .app__video -overlay. We're going to position the overlay absolute. So we can say position absolute. Inset is going to be 0 and background is going to be, let's change it to RGBA and then 0, 0, 0 and then 0.65. This is going to change the opacity. So now if we save this, you won't be able to see it yet, but you can see it on the left side here with this play icon. Let's style that icon button. So that's going to be .app__video -overlay and then _circle. In here, we can set the width to be equal to 100 pixels, the height to be equal to 100 pixels as well. Border radius is going to be, that's a question for you. We have a circle, so border radius is going to be 50%. Border is going to be 1 pixel solid, and then var --color -golden. And finally, cursor is going to be pointer. There we go. Let's save it. There we go. Now just the overlay has to go over the entire video. Let's see what's up about that. So if we go back to our intro, let's see if we have a typo somewhere. That's going to be app video overlay. Flex center, that seems good. We have this circle right here, which also seems good. So everything in here seems to be good, but if we go to our CSS, this inset right here got autofilled for me. So I meant to put just a 0 here. There we go. This property alone did it. So now we have this nice overlay, and if we click play, the video actually starts playing. One change that you could make, of course, is when the video is playing, remove the overlay, or remove the button and overlay altogether if the mouse is not currently on the video. But this is great as well. I actually prefer it this way, so let's keep it. We can simply see the video, it's not that dark, and it's looking great. Of course, you can change this to something like 30 to make it a lot lighter. There we go. That's also a great look. So now let's go to the deployed side, scroll down, and see how does it look like. This is how it should look like. And on our own side, it's looking great as well. Let's expand it to the entire window. And we have a large video. Let's see how does it look like on mobile. If we go to inspect, iPhone, make this just a bit bigger, scroll down, and there we go. It's looking great right here as well. Let's collapse this just a bit. And with that said, our video section is done. We can clear our development environment just a bit by clicking on Visual Studio Code and then holding Control and pressing W a few times. That's going to close all of the currently open files. So let's close all of them, and the only one we need right now is going to be source app.js. Next section on our list is going to be laurels. We can go to the design and just zoom out a bit, and in here we can see the laurels. These are going to be some awards and recognition that the restaurant has made, such as Rising Star, Hospitality, Outstanding Chef. Oh, you already should know who is the chef. Let's test your memory. Try remembering what was the name of our chef. If we scroll a bit up, the name is Kevin. Okay, great. So this portion of the page is going to be next. We have this great logo on top left, as well as this photo right here and this big letter G. So let's create this portion of the page right away. To start with our awards, we first have to have some imports. And I think we already had similar imports in, let's see, special menu. Yeah, Exactly. So you can go to special menu and you can copy these two lines, go back into Laurels and paste them straight here. We're going to reuse our subheading component. We won't need the menu item. And we're going to use images and data. So our div is going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore bg, app underscore underscore wrapper, section underscore underscore padding. And then if someone wants to scroll to this part of the page, it's going to have an ID equal to awards. Inside of that div, we're going to have one more div. And this div is going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore wrapper underscore info. That info is going to be the left side of our page, the information. And then just below that div, we're going to have one more div. And this side of the page is going to be class name app underscore underscore wrapper underscore img. Of course, this is where the image is going to go. So let's first deal with the content. We can, of course, render our subheading here. Our subheading with a capital H is going to have a title, and that title is going to be, let's see, awards and recognition. So we can simply copy it from here. Then we're going to have an H1, and that H1 is going to have a class name equal to head text underscore underscore cormorant. And inside of there, we can say our Laurels. Let's save that, go back, and right here, you can see awards and recognition and our Laurels. Just below this H1, we want to loop over the data. In this case, we're going to go into constants and let's see what the data is. Data has wines, cocktails, and awards. In this case, we're looking for our awards. Awards simply contains a list or an array of objects where each specific object has the image, the title, and the subtitle. So back in our Laurels, we can create a div. The class name of that div is going to be app underscore underscore Laurels underscore awards. And then inside of there, we can open a dynamic block of code where we do data.awards.map, where we get each individual award. And then for each award, we're going to render a new component called award card. That is going to be a self-closing component in which we're going to pass in the award equal to award. And we're also going to pass the key equal to award.title. So as you can see, this component hasn't yet been defined. So just at the top, above our current component, we can create a new component called award card. And that is equal to a React functional component. You might be wondering, why are we not importing this component from all the other components? And the reason is we won't be reusing it. It's going to be used only in this file. So right here, we can return a div, and a div that's going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore Laurels underscore awards dash card. Inside of there, we're going to have an image, which is going to have a source equal to, and then from here, we're getting the award from props because we're passing it right here. And each award has the image URL. So we can furthermore destructure one more time, the image URL, the title, and the subtitle from our award. So right here in the source, we can use the img URL, and the alt tag is going to be award. Let's save that. And there we go. We have 4 different images for our award. Then just below our image, we're going to have one more div that's going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore Laurels underscore awards dash card underscore content. Inside of there, we're going to have 2 different paragraphs. The first B tag is going to have a class name equal to p underscore underscore cormorant, and a style, an inline style of color is equal to a string of hash DCCA87. And of course, we're going to render out the title right inside of it. So right here, dynamically render the title. There we go. Now we can duplicate this line. We can remove the style for the color. And instead of the title, we're going to render the subtitle. And as soon as we save that, you can see this is looking great. That is going to be it for our small award card. So we can go back into our laurels. And the last thing we need is going to be the image right here. So we can say img is equal to src images dot laurels. And alt is going to be laurels as well. As soon as we save that and scroll down, you should be able to see this great image with this letter G as in Gericht, the name of the restaurant. So this is looking great. Of course, this is just the layout with some minor stylings, but now is the time that we actually style it completely. So let's open laurels.css and let's first focus on awards. That's going to be .app __ laurels _ awards. And there we can set a display is equal to flex. As soon as we save that, you're going to notice that all of them are going to go in a row. That's the default behavior for flex. Then we can set the justify dash content to be equal to flex dash start. That's going to be useful on different screen sizes. And then also align dash items is going to be center. There we go. Finally, let's do the margin dash top is going to be 3 rem. There we go. This is already looking so much better. Now let's style each individual card by doing .app _ laurels _ awards dash card. In here, we can do flex 1. So each card is going to take 1 space. And a card can also be of a display flex, but the justify content is going to be flex dash start, and also align dash items is going to be flex dash start. There we go. Finally, min dash width is going to be 230 pixels. And let's apply some margin 1 rem. There we go. Now we have all of our awards right here. But as you can see, this is not looking great, even on the device we're currently on. It's going outside of the entire viewport of the page and breaking it completely. So to fix that, we're going to apply some media queries. Let's add a add media screen, and in this case, we're going to use the min dash width. It's going to be set to 1900 pixels. So we want to apply the styles if we are above 1900 pixels. And in that case, we want to select this card right here. And we're simply going to set the min dash width to be 390 pixels. This is going to fix the view for larger devices. Okay, so now let's collapse it one more time and let's continue coding the styles. I've just noticed that these images of these awards are not the same. So we have to set the height and the width of each one of these images. So just above our media query, we can set the .app _ laurels _ awards dash card img. The width is going to be 50 pixels and the height is going to be 50 pixels as well. There we go. And finally, we have to edit the content of the cards by doing .app _ laurels _ awards dash card _ content. There, we can set the display is equal to flex dash direction is set to column, and margin dash left is 1 rem. As soon as we save that, you're going to notice that this is looking a bit more streamlined. So they're all looking the same. Now let's apply a bit of media queries again. So just below, I'm going to copy this, paste it. And now let's do max width, and that's going to be 450 pixels. In this case, we want to edit the awards card, and we're going to set the min width to be 100%, and margin is going to be 1 rem on top and bottom, and 0 on left and right. Now let's open up our mobile view, and let's see how does it look like on different screen sizes. I'm gonna reload the page, and right away, it looks like all of the awards are coming off the screen, which is definitely not good. To fix this problem of horizontal scroll on mobile, let's scroll up, and let's see if we have some mistakes in the CSS. Right here, we have display flex, flex start, align item center, but we're missing one crucial property, and that is flex-wrap is set to wrap. As soon as we apply this, you're gonna notice that now each award wraps one beneath another and instantly fixes our issue. We have 4 awards right here, and then we have this great looking image. Let's see if this is working well on, let's say, iPad mini. Looks great. In here, the awards wrap in rows of 2. And let's try something like Pixel 5. Looking great as well. And let's see for the laptop. That is looking great as well. Let's close our inspect element. And let's try extending this side to the full width. And there we go. Our 4 awards on the left side and this great image on the right side. Now, of course, you can play with the layout a bit more here. You can do it like it is on the design, 2 per row, even on larger devices. But in my opinion, this is looking great as well. With that said, we're done with the awards part of this page, and we only have 3 sections to go. The next one on our list is the gallery. So if we scroll down, you're gonna notice this unique photo gallery where we get photos from Instagram. So that's going to be our next task. We can go to our code. Let's put it right here. Let's close all of the files besides the app, and let's go to the gallery. There we go. We are ready to start coding it out. To get started with our gallery, we can of course make some imports first. We can go back into Laurels and right here, copy these imports just to make it a bit faster and paste them straight here into gallery. In here, we're going to be using the subheading and images. No need for data. And we also have to import a few icons. So let's say import BS Instagram, also BS arrow left short, and also, if you can guess it, BS arrow right short. And that is coming from react-icons/BS. Great. So how is our gallery going to look like? Well, first of all, of course, we're going to have some logic for moving the images left and right. So this here is not going to be just a parenthesis. We're going to open a new function block and close it right here at the end. Then we can indent this and simply return it. Later on, right here at the top of our component, we're going to have some states. But for now, let's go to our site. Scroll down and let's add our first class name. The first class name is going to be app__gallery flex__center. Inside of that div, we're going to have 2 different divs. You can guess this here containing the text is going to be the first one, and then the gallery is going to be the second one. So the first div is going to have a class name equal to app__gallery, and then dash content. In here, we're going to have our subheading, and our subheading is going to have the title equal to Instagram. We can save that, go back, and right away we see this spoon, but we cannot yet see what's happening. So to quickly see what's happening, it might be a good idea to go into gallery.css and change the styles. The most important thing we have to make is .app__gallery. There, we're going to simply make a display is equal to flex. Then we're going to set the flex-direction to be equal to row. And most importantly, background is going to be var and then --color-black. There we go. Now we can see Instagram here. And let's also add some padding. 4 rem on top, 0 on right, 4 rem on bottom, and 6 rem on left. There we go. Instagram is in the middle. So now we can go back to gallery.jsx and we can continue implementing the code. Just below our subheading, we're going to have an h1. And this h1 is going to have a class name equal to head text and then underscore underscore cormorant. Inside of there, we can simply say photo gallery. Let's save it. There we go. This is looking great. And then just below that, we can implement a p tag. This p tag is going to have a class name equal to p underscore underscore open sans, and it's going to have an inline style equal to color, and that's going to be hash AAA. Let's also give it a margin top of 2 rem. And then finally, what is this paragraph going to say? Well, it's going to be lorem ipsum text, so we can just copy and paste it straight into here. If we go back, there we go. Now, just below that, we're going to have our button. So let's say button. Then we're going to have a type is equal to button. We're going to also have a class name is equal to custom underscore underscore button. And then finally, the button is going to say view more. There we go. Now we're going to close this div, and just below that div, we're going to create, of course, our image gallery. So this div is going to have a class name equal to app underscore underscore gallery, and then dash images. Inside of here, we're going to have 2 different divs. The first div is going to be for the actual images. So that's going to be class name is equal to app underscore underscore gallery dash images underscore container. And it's also going to have a ref. So let's also add a ref right away called scroll ref. You already learned how you can create a ref. We can do that right here by simply saying const scroll ref is going to be equal to react.useRef. And we can pass in null. There we go. So that is the first div containing the images. And then the second one is going to contain the actual buttons to move left and right. So let's say class name is equal to, and we can do app underscore underscore gallery dash images underscore arrows. We can already start adding those arrows by saying bs arrow left short class name is going to be equal to gallery underscore underscore arrow dash icon. And then it's going to have an on click where we can call a callback function called scroll, which doesn't exist yet. And we're going to pass in the parameter of left. We can close this component right here like this. And then let's duplicate it into the line below. And the second icon is going to scroll to right. And it's going to be bs arrow right short. There we go. Of course, we have to implement this scroll function. So just at the top, we can say const scroll. It's going to take in a string, which is going to be a direction. Then we want to get the current from our ref, which is our gallery. So that's going to be current is equal to scroll ref. In here, we're just destructuring it. And let's make sure to spell this correctly. And then the only thing we have to do is say if direction is triple equal to left. In that case, we can current dot scroll left minus equal to 300 pixels. And if we are on the else, if we're scrolling to the right, current dot scroll left plus equal to 300 pixels. This is simply going to move the images around. Now, of course, we've coded the buttons. We cannot see them yet because they're dark, but we are yet to code the actual images. So let's loop over the images from our gallery. To do that, we can open a new dynamic code block, create an array sign, or even better, let's do that at the top right here. We can say something like const, and then images is equal to an array where we're going to have the first image, images.gallery01, then images.gallery02, images.gallery03, and the last image is going to be images.gallery04. Great. So now we have this const images, which is above our function, and we can use it right in here. Images dot map. And then for each image, we're going to also get the index. And what do we want to show for each image? Well, we can show a div, and that div is going to have a class name equal to app__gallery dash images underscore card, and also flex__center. We also have to pass it a key because we're mapping over something. So as a key, let's do a template string equal to gallery_image dash, and then in here, we're going to dynamically provide index +1. That way we'll count through all the images. Looks like we have a typo at the top, and that is that I call this images, and we're already importing images. So in this case, let's call this gallery images. And then just below, we can use gallery images right here. Now, inside of that div, we of course want to show an image, which is going to be source image, and also alt, which is going to be gallery image, or just gallery. When we save that, you can see that we get 4 different images of some food and beverages. But we also want that Instagram icon, so let's simply say BS Instagram, and we're going to provide a class name, which is going to be equal to gallery__image dash icon. Let's save it. And right now, it's not going to look that good. We just have this text on the left side, but the images are not styled at all, and this doesn't look like a carousel where you can move left and right. This is how it should actually look like. There we go. And let's check it out on the deployed side. If we scroll down, you can see that we have these nice arrows where we can move around the images. Great. So how are we going to implement this? Well, it's all going to come down to styles. Our JSX is here. Now we can go into gallery CSS and implement all the styles. To achieve this gallery look is not going to be easy. You can see that we have these icons and also this nice Instagram overlay once we scroll over it. So let's start. Right here, we're going to add the .app__gallery dash content. In here, we want each one of our contents to have a flex 1 and also display flex. We want to center it by using justify content is equal to center. And let's save it, go back to our own site and see how is it looking. Right now, the content is not looking that good, but let's also apply align dash items of flex dash start. And finally, flex dash direction is going to be column. Let's apply a min dash width of 500 pixels and also padding dash right of 2 rem. Okay, this is already looking so much better. Now let's apply some margin to our button by doing .app__gallery dash content button margin dash top is 1 rem. There we go. That's already a lot better. Now let's start styling the images. .app__gallery dash images. Let's do flex is equal to 1. Then we're going to make this a display of flex. And then we're going to use flex dash direction is going to be set to row. And most importantly, max dash width is going to be 50%. And also position is going to be relative. Now we're going to make the most changes by applying the styles to the images container. So let's do .app__gallery dash images underscore container. Let's make it a display is equal to flex. And as soon as we do that, you're going to notice that the images start appearing in a row. Then let's do flex dash direction is going to be set to row. It is row by default, but we're going to change it later on for mobile devices. So it's important to have it here. Then we're going to have width is going to be max dash content. This property sets the width to the maximum of that specific content, like the image. Then we're going to set the overflow x to be equal to scroll. This is going to allow us to scroll through the images. But we're going to set the -ms -overflow -style to be equal to none. So we do want to scroll, but we don't want to see that scroll bar. And we can do that by saying scroll bar dash width is none. Of course, this is supposed to be scroll bar. One thing we can do to hide it is copy this right here and then say colon dash WebKit dash scroll bar, and then we can set the display to be equal to none. We want to hide it because we're going to move with arrows left and right. Then let's style each individual card .app __ gallery dash images _ card. Here, we're going to set the position to be equal to relative, just so we can apply that overlay. Then the min width is going to be 300 pixels. Okay, you can see they start going above one another. Let's make it 301 because we have the scroll left to 300 there. And then let's do the height of each image to be set to 447 pixels. We just copied that from the design. And margin dash right is going to be 2 rem. Of course, we have to spell this properly. Now let's style the Instagram icon. That's going to be .gallery __ image dash icon. In here, we can set the position to be equal to absolute. Then we can set the color to be equal to #FFF. There we go. Now you can see it right here. Then we're going to set the font dash size to be equal to 2 rem, opacity to be equal to 0, transition to be equal to 0.5 seconds ease, and finally cursor dash pointer. So we only want to see this icon if we hover over it. And finally, we can style our image by doing .app __ gallery dash images _ card img. We can set the width of one image to 100%, also the height to be 100%. There we go. This is already looking so much better. Object fit cover is important whenever you're working with images. There we go. Let's do opacity is equal to 1, and then transition is going to be set to 0.5 seconds, and then ease. Finally, let's copy this, paste it below, and now we want to do the card, but now card hover. So when we hover over the card, then we want to change the opacity to 0.35, like this. There we go. This is looking great. We can copy this one more time, paste it below, and we can target the .gallery and then _ image dash icon. So now we're targeting this specific icon when we're hovering, and then we can increase the opacity to 1. Let's fix this. And now if we hover over it, you can see the Instagram logo is at 1. Great. Now let's style the arrows by doing .app _ gallery dash images _ arrows, and that's going to be width of 100%. Then we're going to set a display is equal to flex. We still cannot see those arrows. Then let's do justify dash content space between, because we want them to show at the start right here and also at the end right there. Then let's do align dash items off center. Let's do padding is 0 on top and bottom and 1 rem on left and right. Of course, we have to close this here. And then let's do position absolute. And then finally, bottom 5%. Let's save this. And we still cannot see it, but let's style those arrow icons. We can do that by saying .gallery _ arrow dash icon. Let's do color is var, and then let's do color golden. Let's also increase the font size to 2 rem. Let's make a cursor to be pointer. Background can be var -- color, but this time it's going to be black. And finally, border dash radius is going to be set to 5 pixels. And now you can see those arrows right here, left and right. Finally, on hover, we want to change the color of that icon. So let's copy this, paste it below, and say hover. Then we want to simply change the color to color white, like this. So now if you hover over it, you can see it highlights white. But something seems to be broken here. The arrows are not showing on left and right. So let's see what seems to be the issue. If we go to our gallery and check out our icons, we can see app __ gallery dash images _ arrows. I was missing an S here. And if that is done, you can see our arrows are appearing 5% from the bottom as we set it right here. There we go. So now we can scroll. This is already looking great. There are just a few things that we have to fix, and that's mostly the responsiveness issues. In this case, we're going to have 4 different media queries. So we can say add media, screen, and min-width 2000 pixels. So this is for extremely large devices. Now we can copy this 3 more times. And in the second one, we're going to have the max width of 1150 pixels, max width of 850 pixels. And finally, for mobile devices, that's going to be 650 pixels. So for extremely large devices, over 2000 pixels, let's change the content a bit by saying .app __ gallery dash content. We can provide a min-width of 1000 pixels. So the content is going to take 1000 pixels on large devices. Also, padding -right is going to be 4 rem. We can also increase the minimum width of the individual card. So let's do .app __ gallery dash images _ card. And right here, we can set the min-width to be equal to 400 pixels. And also, let's do the height of something like 550 pixels. So now if we expand this, there we go. This is looking great. Now let's start working on smaller sizes, something like this maybe, 1150 pixels. On this size, we can already change the app gallery to be flex-direction of column because the images no longer fit vertically. And let's change the images to .app __ gallery dash images. We can set the max width this time to 100%. There we go. And we can also set the margin to be 5 rem on top and bottom and 0 on left and right. There we go. So now they're spanning in a new row. On smaller devices, we can just change the gallery again just a bit. So what we can do right here is simply reset the paddings to be 4 rem on top, 0, 4 rem on bottom, and then 4 rem on left as well. And finally, for our mobile devices, we can again take this gallery, change the paddings just a bit. This time we can do 2 on the left side. And again, make sure that you have max width for 850 pixels as well as max width for 650 pixels. There we go. That is really important. On mobile devices, we can also change the content. So that's going to be .app __ gallery dash content. And the thing we're going to change is min width is going to be 100%. And finally, we want to change the card. We were changing that right here on 2000 pixels. We can change the card to have a small minimum width of, let's say, only 240 pixels and height only 320 pixels because we're on mobile devices. And with that, we should be ready with our gallery. Let's check the responsiveness. If we go to our mobile view, iPhone 12 Pro, looks like that we are not quite there yet. It looks fine, but it's breaking just a bit. So let's try to see where is the issue. I think the content is going outside, so we have to reset the width on mobile devices. Let's do .app __ gallery dash content, and right here we can set the min width to be equal to 100%. There we go. Now it's not going outside, and we can actually nicely scroll with our finger through these different images. So mobile view is looking great. Let's check the iPad mini. There we go. Gallery is looking sharp as well. Let's check the tablet. Looking great. What about laptop? That's great as well. And what about a large device like 1600? In here, we have everything in one row, but that is the same situation as we would have if we expanded our browser. There we go. Our gallery in full action. We have these arrows right here to move across the gallery. Great. With that said, we only have 2 more sections to go. Great job. We have the Find Us right here, which is a great site with this nice drink right here. And then we have our subscribe to our newsletter and our footer. It's looking great. We're coming close to the end. So stay focused and you're soon gonna build this amazing project. And soon enough, you'll be able to create similar projects for your clients or for the company you work for. With that said, let's collapse this one more time. Let's go to app.js and let's go to Find Us. This is going to be the next section that we're going to implement. To implement Find Us, we can go back to app and then Laurels. Inside of here, we can copy these 2 import lines. Let's copy them, go back to Find Us and paste them at the top. Right here, we're going to need the subheading as well as the images from constants. In this case, Find Us is not even going to have a CSS file. We're going to code everything in here. So let's start. This first div is going to have a class name is equal to app__bg, app__wrapper, and section__padding. We're also going to add an ID equal to contact so that people can scroll to this part of the page. Inside of that div, we're going to have one more div, and this is going to be the div for our left side of the page where we have all of our content. That div is going to have a class name equal to app__wrapper_info. And then on the right side, we're going to have the div containing our image. So we can say div, and we're going to have a class name equal to app__wrapper_img. Inside of there, we can immediately put a self-closing image tag that's going to have the src equal to images.findUs, and alt is going to be find us. There we go. If we save that, we should be able to see that image on the bottom. There we go. So now let's implement the content for the left side of this specific image. We're first going to have a subheading. So let's create a self-closing subheading component that's going to have a title equal to contact. There we go. Contact is right here. And as we always do, just below our subheading, we're going to have an h1 that's going to have a class name equal to head text __ cormorant. And it's going to have an inline style equal to margin bottom is equal to 3 rem in a string. And we're simply going to say find us. There we go. This is looking better already. Now, just below that h1, we're going to create one more div. And this div is going to have a class name equal to app__ wrapper dash content. Inside of there, we're going to have quite a few paragraphs. So let's start with the first one. Let's see the design. The first paragraph is going to be the actual address right here. So let's add a class name, which is equal to p__ open sans. And then we can double click right here and copy it and paste it straight here. Now we can duplicate this line 3 more times. The second one is not going to be open sans, it's going to be p__ cormorant. And inside of there, we're going to have some styles. So let's do style, where we're going to have a color is equal to #DCCA87. And we're also going to have a margin equal to 2 rem on top and bottom and 0 rem on left and right. And there we can simply say opening hours. So we can delete this right here. We can also delete it from here and here. because that's going to be the text only for the first paragraph. And in here, we're saying opening hours. Let's see that. There we go. And now we just need Monday to Friday and Saturday to Sunday. So right here, we already have the class names. Let's copy the first line right here. And then let's copy the last line right there. If we save that, there we go. We have our hours. Below this div, we're going to create a button tag that's going to have a class name equal to custom underscore underscore button. Style is equal to margin top is going to be to rem. And let's do visit us. There we go. Now, if we save that and go on our deployed site, we can see that we have the visit us button right here. And if you think about it, that's going to be it for our find us section. If we expand it, you can see that it's looking great on larger devices as well. Let's open up inspect element and let's see how does it look like on mobile devices. Let's go to iPhone 12 Pro and it's looking great. There we go. The last thing on our list is going to be the footer, but it's not just a basic footer. If you look at the design, the footer is going to have a subscribe to our newsletter and also the real complex footer that's looking great, and it's just giving you that nice final touch to the website. So let's collapse this just a bit and let's go back to our app. Once we're in the app, we can go back to footer. Inside of the footer, we're going to import two different components. The first component is going to be footer overlay, and then the second one is going to be newsletter, and that is coming from // components. We're going to also need these three icons, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So let's simply say import in curly braces, fi Facebook, fi Twitter, and finally fi Instagram. And this is coming from react-icons/fi. There we go. Now to code out our footer, let's first start with the main class name, and that's going to be class name is equal to app __ footer space section __ padding. Now inside of there, we're going to render our two components. The first component is the footer overlay, and just below that, we're going to have our newsletter. If we save that now and go back, you can notice that now we have this section of the page, which is white, and we have these two components. Now is the time that we go into each one of these and implement that layout. So let's first control click to go into footer overlay and let's code it out. Our footer overlay is going to be fairly simple when it comes to JSX. We're going to give it a class name equal to app __ footer overlay. And then inside of there, we're going to have two empty divs. So let's create a self-closing div that's going to have a class name equal to app __ footer overlay -black. And then we can duplicate that. This time it's going to be footer overlay -img and then app __ bg. Now we can save that. Go here and you can see that nothing changed yet, but now we can go into footer overlay .css to implement the styles. For our .app __ footer overlay, we're going to do width is going to be 100%. The height is also going to be 100%. Let's save it, go back. Okay, nothing happened yet, but let's increase the Z index or Z index to 1. And then just below, we're going to make it a display is equal to flex. We're also going to give it flex-direction is going to be set to column. And then finally, we're going to make it a position is equal to absolute. All of this is going to make sense really soon. Now we have to do the .app __ footer overlay and then -black. Right here, we can set the height to be equal to 25%. And let's change the color or background to be var -- color - black. There we go. You can see that now we have this portion of the page. And then just below that, we can say .app _ footer overlay and then -img. Right here, we can set the height to be equal to 75%. There we go. So now this is going to be our footer. But it looks like we have some issues right now. Let's go back to the normal desktop view. Right now, this doesn't look good because we haven't yet implemented the styles for the footer. So let's go to our footer.jsx. More specifically, let's go to footer.css. Inside of here, we have to do .app _ footer. Let's simply do width is going to be 100%. Then the position is going to be relative. There we go. This is already looking just a bit better, but still looking broken. The Z index is going to be set to 1. Then let's make it a display is equal to flex. Justify - content is going to be flex - start. Align - items is going to be center. And flex - direction is going to be column. Finally, we're going to set the background to be equal to var -- color - black. And let's set the padding - top to be equal to 0. Now we have the entire portion of the screen black. I'm not sure if you can see it through the recording, but there is actually a gradient here. So there is a black line right here, but below that, we have a gradient that is barely visible, but it's there. Even on the design, it's hard to say that we have a gradient, but you can see some of the points here. So it's not entirely dark. You can see it here as well. On the other hand, right here, where we have the newsletter, it's entirely dark. I hope this is going to make just a bit more sense as we keep coding our footer. But now we have our footer overlay and we are ready to start coding out the newsletter. So let's go to footer, control click into newsletter, and let's code it out. Inside of our newsletter, we're gonna import subheading from /subheading / subheading. Inside of here, we can simply create a div with a class name equal to app _ newsletter. Inside of there, we're gonna have one more div, and that div is going to have a class name equal to app _ newsletter -heading. Inside of there, we can render the subheading, and that subheading is going to have a title that's going to say newsletter. Let's go back to check it out. There we go. Again, as we always do, below the subheading, we're going to have a heading that's going to have a class name equal to head text _ cormorant. And right here, we can copy what the design says. That's going to be subscribe to our newsletter. We can simply paste it here. We also have one p tag, never miss latest updates. So just below this h1, let's create a p tag that's going to have a class name equal to p _ open sans, and let's paste it here. There we go. But we cannot seem to see our h1 head text, and I have a typo, cormorant. There we go. So now we can see our great heading. Below this div, we can create one more div, which is going to be the input tag. So let's say class name is going to be equal to app _ newsletter -input, and also space flex _ center. Inside of there, the only things we're going to have are going to be an input that's going to have a type is equal to email and a placeholder of enter your email address. And just below that, we're going to have a button. This button is going to have a class name equal to custom _ button, and it's going to say subscribe. This doesn't look that good, but now we can go into newsletter.css and we can implement the styles. Let's do .app _ newsletter. Let's do padding is 2 rem on top and bottom and 4 rem on left and right. That's going to space it out a bit. let's give it a border 1px solid var -- color -golden. There we go. This really made it pop out. And then finally, let's give it a background. That's going to be var -- color -black. There we go. So now you can see what I meant, hopefully. There is this slight background outside of this golden rectangle. And then this here is entirely dark. Again, it's hard to tell, but it's the subtle details that matter. Below that, we can do .app__newsletter -heading, and we can do text-align is equal to center. Then let's start styling our input. .app__newsletter -input. In here, we can set the flex -direction to be set to row, and we can also give it a margin -top of 3 rem. There we go. Finally, we can copy this and simply target the individual input in there. So now we're not targeting the div that the input is inside of, but the actual input. Our input is going to have a width of 620 pixels. Border is going to be 1 pixel solid var -- color -golden. Border -radius is going to be 5 pixels. Font -size is going to be 1 rem. Font -family is going to be var font dash, and then we're going to have base. That changed the font. Color is going to be var -- color - and then white. Margin -right to divide it from the button is going to be 2 rem. And then the most important thing is going to be the padding. 0.75 rem on top and bottom, and 1 rem on left and right. There we go. And let's also change the background. And our background is going to be var -- color -black. There we go. Now this is looking great. Let's also change our button a bit. Looks like we're missing something here. So let's go back to JSX. This is going to be custom, not bottom, but this is going to be button. There we go. Already looks so much better. Now let's target that button. .app__newsletter -input button. And then width is going to be set to max -content. That's going to make it appear a bit wider if there is space available. Finally, let's deal with some media queries, because this is not going to look great on all different screen sizes. If we expand it, it's going to appear too small in the middle, and I'm sure it's going to break on mobile devices. Let's check it out. Yep, it's definitely going outside. So now let's fix the responsiveness. I'm going to again collapse this, and let's add a few media queries. Add media, screen, and max -width is 2000 pixels. Or in this case, that's going to be min -width. So this is going to be for large devices. Now we can duplicate this. The second one is going to be max -width, and that's going to be up to 990 pixels. So that's for bigger tablets. Then we can duplicate this 2 more times, the one with the max width, not the min width. In here, we're going to have 650 pixels, and the last one is going to have 300 pixels. So for extra small devices. So for the smallest of devices, we can just decrease the size of the heading. So let's do .app__newsletter -heading h1 font -size is 32 pixels. If we go below 300, let's try doing that. Right here, responsive, let's do 290. Yeah, it's still going outside, and the font size is definitely too big. Let's also decrease the line height to be 50 pixels. There we go. Now, when we implement this as well, this is actually going to be fixed. So let's start implementing this. .app__newsletter padding is 2 rem on top and bottom and 0 on left and right, and border is none. Let's save it. There we go. Already just a bit better, but still not good. let's do this one up to 990 pixels next. So that's going to be .app __ newsletter dash input flex dash direction is going to be column like this, and also width is going to be 100%. Okay, this still didn't make it better. Let's also do one more thing right here. .app __ newsletter dash input, and then we target the input itself. We can say margin is 0 on top, 0 on right, 2 rem on bottom, and 0 on left. And also width is 100%. Okay, and this is it. This width property actually fixed the problem. So now you might be wondering, we were taking a look at the smallest size possible, 290 pixels. That's below 300, right? So why wasn't the issue fixed when we implement something here? Well, if you think about it, 290 is also smaller than 650 and also smaller than 990. And in here, we have max width. So these styles and these styles, as well as these styles, are going to be applied on 290 pixels device. That's why now we've made it work for all devices, all the way from the smallest to something like an iPhone. There we go. And also tablets. Let's check that out. Let's do iPad mini. And if we collapse this a bit, that's looking beautiful. Now let's just make a fix for the devices above 2000 pixels. .app __ newsletter dash input, and then we target the input, and we're just gonna set the font dash size to 2 rem, just to make it a bit bigger on extra large devices. So now if we expand this, it's looking great. The last thing we have to do is the part below our newsletter, and that's going to be what usually we call an actual real footer. And this is actually, if I may say, a really great looking footer. It's going to be divided into a few parts. This specific div, that is the entire footer, this smaller div with 3 different columns that contains the content, and then the trademark at the bottom. So let's code it out. We can go back to our code by collapsing this, not in the newsletter, not in the footer overlay as well. And we can also close all of the other files. Where we have to go is into app and then footer. Now we've coded out these 2 components, but now is the time that we code out the footer itself. So as I've told you, our footer is going to be a div, more specifically a div that's going to have a class name equal to app __ footer dash links. And that is going to be divided into 2 different divs. The first one that's going to have a class name equal to app __ footer dash links _ contact. Inside of the links, we're going to also have a second column, which is going to have a class name equal to, that's going to be app __ footer dash links _ logo. In here, we're going to have our social media icons. And the last div in here is going to be a div that's going to have a class name equal to app __ footer dash links _ work. And in here, we're going to have the working hours. So that's going to be these 3 columns right here that I've showed you at the start. This one, and this one. And now we also have to do the trademark. So that's going to be below all of these. And we can call that a div that's going to have a class name equal to footer __ copyright. And since this one is incredibly simple, we can code it out right away. It's going to have a p tag that's going to have a class name equal to p __ open sans. And in there, we can copy this text, paste it here, and check it out. There we go. Now is the time that we implement these 3 columns. Let's start from left to right. So the first one is going to be the contact us. So let's go here. Let's create an H1 right here. That H1 is going to have a class name equal to app __ footer dash head text. And there we can say contact us. If we save that and go back, we cannot yet see it because it's dark right here. But we're going to implement the styles soon. Then below that H1, we're going to have a few paragraphs. And each one of these paragraphs is going to have a class name, p __ open sans. The first one is going to say this, which is the address. So let's copy it. We can duplicate it 2 more times. The second one is going to give out a first phone number, and next one is going to give out the second phone number. There we go. So now if we save this, you can see that we have our contact right here. Now let's go for the second div, which is going to be this one right here. This is looking great. So first we're going to have an image, and this image is going to have a source, images.gericht, and alt is going to be footer _ logo. Of course, we have to import images. So just at the top, let's go ahead and above our import CSS, let's do import images from // constants. And I'm missing an A here. There we go. So now if we save this and go back, you can see this logo right here. Let's go back to the design. Below our image, we're going to have a p tag that's going to have a class name equal to p __ open sans. And there we can simply copy their quote. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Okay. And then we're going to have an image of this spoon right here. So that's going to be img source images.spoon. Then let's do an alt equal to spoon. Let's do a class name equal to spoon __ image or img. And then let's do style. Margin top is 15 pixels. You can just write it as a number 15. Let's go to the design. There we go. And finally, we have to have these 3 icons. So let's create a div below our img. This div is going to have a class name equal to app __ footer dash links _ icons. In here, let's do fi Facebook, self-closing icon. Then the second one is going to be fi Twitter, and then we're going to have fi Instagram. Let's save that, go back, and the icons are now dark, so we cannot see them, but they are definitely here. And before we implement the styles, let's also implement the third column, which is the working hours. For our working hours, we can essentially copy this div right here, or not the div, rather what's inside of the div. That's going to be an H1 and a few paragraphs. So let's copy it, paste it inside of the work right here, indent it properly. Contact us is not going to be contact us, it's going to be working hours. The first p tag is going to say Monday dash Friday, colon. We can duplicate that, paste it below, and then we're going to have Saturday to Sunday, like this. And then we can copy the working hours, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. right here, and then 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Now, if we save this and go back, you can notice that this is looking great as well. But of course, we don't see 3 different columns. That's something that we're going to do with styles. So let's go to our footer, footer.css, and let's implement the styles that are going to change the layout. First, we're going to modify the links. .app __ footer dash links. Let's set the width to be equal to 100%. Then display is going to be flex. As soon as we do that, it's already going to take a form similar to the finished one. Let's do a justify dash content and space between. Right now, it's not spacing it out because we don't have enough space, but if we expanded it, you can notice that this one is going to the left side, this one is going to the right side, and this one is staying in the middle. That is space between. Then let's also align dash items, flex dash start. Let's add a margin dash top of 5 rem, and let's do padding 0 and then 2 rem. There we go. Now let's target each one of the columns individually by saying .app __ footer dash links _ contact, comma. We can duplicate this 2 times. The second one is going to be logo, and the third one is going to be work. For each one of these, or for all of them, we want to set the flex to be equal to 1. That way, each one of them is going to take equal amount of space. Margin 1 rem to divide them a bit, and text dash align is going to be center. There we go. Now we're going to play with the logo a bit, so we can do .app __ footer dash links _ logo. We can target the image, and more specifically, first dash child. In this case, we're dealing with different logos. We can see that if we go to our footer and find links logos, there we go. And this is going to be the real logo, the Garrick logo, the big one. So that's what we're currently styling. And we can say width is 210 pixels, just to make it a bit smaller. And let's give it a margin, bottom 0.75 rem. There we go. Now let's apply some margin below this specific element. So we want to divide these two working times. We can do that by saying .app __ footer dash links _ work. We can target the paragraph, and we want to target the nth child. So nth dash child, and then 2n plus 1. This is going to make sure that however many working hours we add, it's always going to add a space below the end of one specific working time. So either below this, or below this, or below another working time that we add. Let's do margin dash bottom is equal to 1 rem. There we go. Let's add some margin top for our icons. So .app __ footer dash links _ icons, and then margin dash top 0.5 rem. We still cannot see our icons, but we are going to be able to see them soon. So now let's change them so that we can see them. .app __ footer dash links _ icons svg. Let's do the color var color white, like this. And here they are. Let's give each one of them a margin of 0.5 rem so that we space them out. There we go. Let's set the font dash size to 24 pixels. There we go. And let's make them a cursor is equal to pointer so that they seem like real links. Looking great. Now let's add an on hover. So we can simply copy this, paste it below, and on SVG say colon hover, and we can change the color to be var dash dash color dash golden. That's going to give it that hover effect. Great. Again, it's the small details that matter. Now, remember, we're still missing these two headings, contact us and working hours. So let's style them. .app __ footer dash head text. Font dash family is var, and then dash dash font dash base. Let's also change the color to var dash dash color and then dash white. Now we can see them. Let's change the font dash weight to 400 to make it a bit bolder or lighter in this case. Let's do letter dash spacing of 0.04 em. Let's capitalize it. So let's do text dash transform, capitalize. Let's also set the font dash size to 32 pixels, line dash height to 41.6 pixels. Again, that's just copied from the design, and margin dash bottom is going to be 1 rem. There we go. Finally, let's add some space between the copyright and the actual footer. We can do that by saying .footer __ copyright, and then margin dash top is 3 rem. There we go. So now we have a great looking footer. Of course, it's not yet going to be all that mobile responsive. It does work well on extra large devices as well as tablets, but as soon as we collapse it a bit, you can see it's gonna start to break. So let's expand this and let's code out the mobile responsiveness. We're gonna have a few different media queries: add media, screen, and min-width is going to be 2000 pixels for large devices. We're gonna duplicate this once, change this to max width and 1150 pixels. And now we can duplicate this 2 more times, where we're gonna have 650 pixels and also 350 pixels for small mobile devices. Let's start from mobile further. So I'm gonna trigger the inspect element and set it to iPhone 12 Pro. Right now, it's absolutely broken. Let's change the logo a bit. .app__footer -links _logo img first -child. This is going to trigger our big Gericht logo. And let's make it take a width of 80%. We cannot see the change yet, but we'll be able to see it soon. In here, let's change the footer and let's change the padding to 0 on top, 0 on bottom, 0 on right, 2 rem on bottom, and 0 on left. Again, we cannot see the changes just yet, but we'll be able to see them right now as we change this specific media query. We need to do .app__footer -links align-items is center, flex-direction is column. This is the most important thing. And whenever you're making something mobile responsive, changing flex direction from row to column is going to make all the difference. There we go. As you can notice, now they're appearing one below another. Let's also change the padding to be 0. And let's target all of our 3 sections by copying them first from here, pasting them into 1150 pixels media query. And what we're gonna do is simply set the margin to 2 rem on top and bottom, 0 on left and right to space it up a bit. And we're gonna add a width of 100%. And finally, for extra large devices, let's do .app__footer -head text, where we're gonna increase the font size to 51 pixels. Also, we're gonna increase the line-height to be equal to 61 pixels. This is on extra large devices. Now let's check how responsive it is. It's looking great on mobile. Let's try to go for tablet, looking great on tablet as well. Let's try expanding it a bit more to laptops, looking great. What if we expand it right here and close the inspect element? It's looking great on desktop as well. That is great. We are now fully done with our footer. And not only with the footer, with the entire website. Find Us section, photo gallery, laurels, awards, recognitions, video section is here as well. Our chef, Kevin. Then we're gonna have the prices of wine, beer, and cocktails, this great knife, About Us section, and finally, the start of our website. This is a phenomenal, fine dining, high-end restaurant website that you can potentially sell to your new clients. I hope you learned a lot along the way and that you'll make use of this website, deploy to the internet, and present it to your potential clients. Of course, a JavaScript Mastery video project is never done where we stop coding. We are always going to deploy it to the internet so that you can share it with your friends and show it to your potential employers. So that's going to be our next step, deploying the great website you've just created on Hostinger's high-end servers. Let's do that right away. And we are back on our Hostinger's dashboard. I already purchased the domain name right here, gerichtrestaurant.com. If you purchased yours, it's going to be right here as well. If you haven't, you can do that right away through Hostinger. The link is going to be down in the description. Also, If you haven't yet connected the domain to the actual website, you can do that right here by clicking Setup on your specific plan, either premium or single shared hosting. But if you already connected it, go to Hosting, and you'll see it under Premium Shared Hosting, Gericht Restaurant. In here, we can simply click Manage. Now that we're here, let's search for File Manager. There we go. Let's go ahead and click it. That just led us to our H panel. You can go into public HTML, and right now we just have a default PHP page, which we can delete by clicking on it and then clicking this trash icon at the top right. There we go. Now the folder is empty. This is where our build folder will go. So let's go back to our application right here. Let's close all of our files by holding Control and then pressing W. Let's collapse our file tree and then open up our terminal by going to View and then Terminal. We can stop it from running by pressing Control C and then Y. We can also clear it. And the only thing you have to do is run npm run build. This is going to create an optimized version of our application ready for production. This process usually takes about a minute, so let's leave it be and I'll be right back. And there we go. The app has been built. We can collapse our terminal, open up our file tree, and you'll see a new build folder. Right-click it and then click Reveal in File Explorer. A new window is going to appear. You can go into the build folder, select all of the items there, and then simply drag and drop only the contents of the build folder onto our H panel. This process is going to take just a moment and your files are going to be right here right away. And there we go. The file's loaded. Here is our index.html. Now let's go back to our hosting account. Let's remove this search right here. Let's expand our window just a bit. And right here, you have your domain. Let's click it and you can watch it load instantly. But there's one really important thing left to do, and that is enabling SSL certificate because our site is currently not secure. So let's immediately fix that by going back to our hosting account and searching for SSL. There we go. Let's click it. And Hostinger just makes it so easy. The only thing you have to do is click Install SSL. SSL is being installed as we speak, and this process usually takes just about a minute. I was wrong. It actually just took a few seconds. I reloaded the page, and there it was. Status active. So now, if we go back to our deploy domain, reload the page, you'll notice this lock on the top left, which means that the connection is secure. Having a custom domain name, SSL certificate, and fast load times definitely makes you stand out from the crowd. That way, your page is secure and reliable. And in our case, it's looking great as well. You've already seen all of these sections, but we can just watch them one more time. As this website is scrolling, just admire the work you've done. As you can see, everything is mobile responsive. We have the video here, we have our awards and recognition, and it's all looking like a complete fine dining restaurant site. And with that, we've come to the end of the page, and with the end of the page comes the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching this video. It means a lot to me, and hopefully you've learned a lot along the way. You'll now be able to build this project, showcase it on your portfolio, do similar projects for your company, friends, or clients, and I hope this is going to pay off for you. With that said, if you haven't already, definitely make sure to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. That's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful day.